I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast,
where we read a romance novel and then we talk about it. Today we're talking about Sleepless in Sicily by Emma Jackson.
Did that sound felt like it was like going to the atmosphere, man.
I'm so excited.
So excited.
So excited.
Because guys, guess what? We also talked to Emma. Oh my God. Oh, I love Emma. Emma, be our friend forever, please.
She's like the sweetest person.
Oh my gosh.
Like just
she
so.
is.
I think we talked to her for like an hour and a half.
It was almost 2 hours altogether.
Yeah, like because we talked beforehand and stuff. But
Yes.
like, she's amazing. Like,
She's
I love her so much.
Nice. Like, I could just, I want to be friends with her.
I know. Can I meet you at the pub for a drink? Like, can we
go to the Winchester? Yeah. I also apologize for my horrible British accent.
I mean, it is what it is. We did what we could. She thought it was funny.
Yeah, let's go to the Winchester. Yeah, so you guys have that to look forward to. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited
she's
to talk
really
about this
great.
fantastic book.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica. Oh, God, I've already started. What was your favorite act from Lilith Fair? We talked about Lilith Fair in the interview.
We talked about Lilith Fair in the interview. Okay, so truth be told, I did not actually get to see Lilith Fair. Mm-hmm. But if I had to pick one, I mean, it was going to be Alanis Morissette.
Nice.
I mean, hello.
Right.
Ironic. Like, I mean, everything about Jagged Little Pill was like chef's kiss. Like, just incredible.
So for me, like, there were, for those of you like that don't know what Lilith Fair was, there were so many acts. It was like, so it was started by Sarah McLachlan and like pretty much and Susan Vega and also what is the two girls, Indigo Girls, like that was they were the big proponents. But you had like Fiona Apple, you had Sean Colvin, you had Lisa Loeb, you had Emmy fucking Lou Harris.
Jesus Christ.
And that's like the main stage. You had Natalie Merchant, Jewel, Tracy fucking Chapman.
Holy shit.
You got a fast car.
Seriously, her voice is like butter.
Yes. Sheryl Crow.
Oh my God, I fucking forgot. Okay. Oh shit, that's hard.
I know.
I'm a huge Sheryl Crow fan. Like, huge.
Can I just let me name you off the rest of the main stage artists?
Okay.
You had Paula Cole, Suzanne Vega, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Fiona Apple, Joan Osborne. What if God was?
Remember, we brought that up already once.
We did. The Cardigans.
Oh my God.
Love me, say that you love me. Lisa Loeb, Sean Colvin, Sonny came home with the mission. Meredith Brooks, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover,
I'm a child,
I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. The best one.
I do not feel
ashamed. I mean, that's the best one, but she was fucking amazing.
Yeah, she's just amazing.
Well, no. India Ari. Do you remember India Ari?
Yeah, of course I do. Hello.
Oh, God. Her song had her name in it. Her song had her fucking name in it. And, of course, Natalie Merchant. But what I'm really super excited about.
I forgot about Sheryl Crow.
Oh, my God.
Like, being in Lilith Fair, I did not forget her as a human. I just forgot that she was a Lilith Fair.
Right. So, I don't know really any of the second stage artists. I'm looking at it going, I don't know any of these people. I'm sure they're fantastic, but I don't know any of them. The Village stage artists. This is where I'm going to say my favorite artist because like it's Sarah McLachlan. It's fucking Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, sure,
yes, yeah. I mean, come on. I had a Sarah McLachlan haircut. I thought I was Sarah McLachlan. I kind of wanted to make out with Sarah McLachlan. It's fine. It's fine. But so if I had to pick someone who was not Sarah McLachlan, it would be Dido.
Stop it. Okay.
Yep.
I also forgot that she was on Lilith Fair.
Uh-huh.
I fucking love Dido. I love her.
Can I tell you some of the other ones?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're all going to pale by comparison, but sure.
Pat Benatar.
Oh, fuck me.
Jill Sobule. Beth Orton, who is fucking amazing. And I think that's the only ones I know.
Oh my God.
This group.
That was like that was like the, God, ahead of its time, just like focusing on super
Ladies.
talented women
Yep.
doing their shit. And none
Yep.
of like, they all, as far as I know, all of those women write their own shit and like are legitimate artists. They're not just like props that people hand songs to and put them up on stage.
Right.
And no shame to those women either, but like they do all of it. They're involved in every aspect, which, you know, to me is like a true artist. You are involved in your process from start to finish.
So I drug my family to see Sarah McLachlan. So it was me, my parents, my mom and dad wanted to go because it was my birthday present. And then my sister and my brother-in-law went. And this was many moons ago. But it was so, so good. It was so good. She was fantastic. Like, I mean, everyone enjoyed it. Even though, like, you didn't have to, like, know Sarah McLachlan music. You just know those fucking 80s PCA commercials. But, I mean...
God, every fucking time. When the holidays roll around, I'm just like, Sarah McLachlan, really? Why does this song have to continue to fucking play?
But, I mean...
With sad photos of dogs.
Her whole discography, like, I mean... Mirrorball, all of them. I just, oh my God. I mean, that was
She's
like
so
that
talented.
right there. That was my senior year of high school. So it was like, it was hitting me. 80, I do believe you found you. Oh my God. That was
I love that fucking song.
Oh,
80 was her grandmother, I think.
it was.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
To bring it full circle, Taylor Swift has a song on Evermore that is about her grandmother named Marjorie. And it will just... I listened to it. Of course, I waited until midnight when it came out and listened to it all the way through. And when it got to Marjorie, I was like, I did not expect this album to just rip me to fucking shreds at 12:30 in the morning, but here we are. It's excellent. I highly recommend you listen to it. It's really good. Also, Marjorie, her grandmother was an opera singer.
Oh.
And she has... there's sound in there of Marjorie singing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Like
and she'll say things like, one of the lyrics is, I swear you're singing to me now, or something like that. And then, like, you can hear her in the background. It's really beautiful.
You're a Swiftie.
Yeah, I am a Swiftie. You know what? I don't care. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I might be like,
but I totally
I'm 4 years
I'm
older than her, and I don't fucking care. That girl is smart as shit. She is super talented. The way her mind works, it's just insane.
You know what? It's cool. It's cool.
You don't have to like her. I love her enough for both of us.
Exactly. There you go. There you go. There you go.
That's all there is to it.
It's fine. Veronica. Tell me something good. What's your bright spot, baby?
So I think right now my bright spot is we had like small semblances of normalcy this weekend. So we had my daughter's birthday party yesterday where I got to see you and hug the shit out of you. And
I cried. It's fine.
I probably would have if there were not so many people there. Like, I mean, there weren't like a ton of people. It's just that we had a lot going on and there were tons
You
of,
were very
like,
busy.
I was super busy. But it was just nice to be with people. And one of my daughter's friends came over with her parent. Like, it was just super nice. And then today, earlier in the day when we were interviewing Emma, my husband took my daughter to watch his nephew's band play. So they were like outside at a brewery and he got to like run around with her and his siblings all took turns running around with her. I guess she played cornhole because, you know, we're in Ohio. So like you got to learn them early, you know? But it was just, it's just really nice to feel snippets of normalcy. I hope that continues. Wear a fucking mask, please. Kids under the age of 12 cannot be vaccinated yet. So, like, if you don't wear that mask for anyone else, please wear it for the kids that can't be vaccinated yet. Because trust us, I know so many people with kids under the age of 12 who people ask me all the time, and it pisses me off every single time, but people are like, so how is post-pandemic life for you? And I just look at them and I'm like, oh, well, the only reason you're asking me that is because you don't have a kid. The only reason. Because you don't think about it, or your kids are older and are vaccinated. You know, like, your kids are adults or something, so you're not thinking about it. But, like, for those of us whose children are still too young to be vaccinated, it's still fucking pandemic life for us. We're not, I mean, some people are taking more risks than we are, but we're not taking her to places where we're going to be hanging out inside with people. Right. Unless we know for a fact that all those people have been vaccinated.
Right.
Therefore, we don't take her that many places. She's been to the zoo. She went to that brewery today, but she was outside. Like, you know, it's just, it's not safe to take them places yet, in my opinion. And I realize that we're on the conservative end of that, but it was super nice to be able to feel little snippets of normalcy this weekend. I needed it for my soul. I think my husband did too. I mean, we're super tired. Like, we're so fucking tired. But it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was good to see you. Because hello.
It was great to see you.
God. Hey, Ray.
Love your... Yeah.
I love your fucking face. It's so pretty. Tell me something good.
I have two things. Can I do two things?
Of course you can. Are you kidding?
Okay.
Is one of them your adorable new addition to your family?
Yes! Okay, so I'll start with that.
Be.
Okay, so he's upstairs right now. But if you guys follow us on Instagram and Twitter, you'll see that I have a new puppy. So Luna, who's asleep right now, has a brother, and his name is Bucky the Fuck Barnes, bitches.
Middle name the fuck.
Yep. Yep. Happened. I wrote it on his AKC. I didn't. But he is a Shiba, so I've got another Shiba. He's a dorkable.
He is super, super cute.
He's super cute. He pooped on the floor when we were talking to Emma. Before even Emma started, I added her in, and then he pooped on the floor, and I immediately took him outside. So, great. But he, for the most part, has been, knock on wood, house trained. But he's super cute. I mean, he's so tiny. I forget how tiny they are when they're puppies. Like, because Shibas aren't big in general, and then he's tiny. But my father, who is the best, came over earlier and just was like making sure my yard, which I have the fence up, was puppy proofed. So he puppy proofed everything that like he thinks that like Bucky could get under. And he's like, and Bucky loves my dad already. So yeah, Bucky's got a friend. So and so it's trying to, you know, get the two Shibas to be friends, and that'll take a couple weeks, I'm sure. But he's super cute, real lovey-dovey. Like he's, yeah, he wants to be with me constantly. Like he wants to be next to me. Like he's constantly under my feet because he wants to be right next to me all the time. But he's a good boy. Like he's already housebroken. So yeah, he's, for the most part, I mean, tonight was an accident, but for the most part, I should have seen the signs. I saw them and I was like, no, we're kind of like, it was like a bad mixture of things. But that's my one thing. And then my other is Ted fucking Lasso came back, bitches! Oh my god! Oh, so I texted Veronica at like 5 a.m. on Friday because because I was getting ready to go to work at home, but at 5 a.m. But I was still like putting my makeup on and stuff because I still have Zoom calls to do, and I was watching it as I was getting ready. Like, so I was watching because so I was spoiled because I binged it. I binged the last season. So now I'm like having to do this week at a time bullshit, and it's killing me.
It's so old school. Like we
it's
used
so
to have
old
to do
school.
That.
Yes. So
we're spoiled.
Yes, we were super spoiled. The episode somebody posted, and I don't want to say her name because I can't think of it right now. I responded to her Twitter, but she was like, she said something like the most friendly show on television started in a manner to which I could never imagine it going. Here, you know what? I've got it up here, so I'll pull it up. The nicest show in television, Stone Cold opened with it's Jen Reed's Romance, who I believe she has a podcast with Sarah McLean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fated Mates or something like that. This nicest show in television, Stone Cold opened with the most unforgivable thing in television, and I've never in my life seen such a power move. And my response was, agreed, in the story he tells at the press conference, because it has to do with a dog, and any other circumstance, I would have been like bawling my eyes out. but it's so like they redeem it so quickly, and the story Ted tells at this press conference, that was what got me. That was what brought the tears to my eyes. And
is this the very beginning of the show or the beginning of the season?
Very beginning of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the first episode of this season.
Right.
So like it's like in the first 10 minutes of the episode. I mean, first 5 minutes of the episode, this happens, and it's the reason that certain things happen throughout the season. Okay. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody because again, it just came out Friday. But Jason Sudeikis, chef's kiss. Like he deserves all the awards for this show. He does. I mean, he's fantastic in it. Like, I've never seen somebody fall into a role so far that it's a different person. Like, if you were like, hey, it's the guy from Horrible Bosses, I'd be like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. But
he's so good in it. I mean, he's like, it warms your heart. It really does. Like, there's no malice. There's no malice in Ted Lasso whatsoever. And again, I do thank Apple for pushing him in a direction of making this more lovable, less like dumb.
Yeah, like making him. I think you brought that up before. Like, yeah.
Like, you know, because it is before it was almost like it was making fun of and sarcastic and petty sort of. This is so much more like he's in tune. And I think I texted you was the one line was like, I've never felt so oh shit, I can't remember the line now. I've never seen so many people, someone so disappointed to see me as I did when I accidentally wore a red cap to a Planned Parenthood fundraiser. I was like, because Ted is very much, though he's from Kansas City, he's very much like very, very like liberal and very much at one point he comes to his two assistant coaches and they like, we've got something to tell you. He's like, oh, you guys are dating. Oh wait, are you dating? He's like, either way, I'm happy for you. Either way. Like, it's like, that's, he is. He'd be happy for his two assistant coaches dating. Like, that's just his character.
I can't wait to watch it. I do need to see
Oh my
it.
God. I wish it would expand to where you guys didn't have to have Apple Plus to watch it.
It's okay.
And because I enjoyed also, it's such a stupid name, but I enjoyed Schmigadoon really a lot. If you
I wanted to watch the morning show also.
Yeah.
The one with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. So
yeah, my friend Brady said he really liked that one.
I might just get it. It's so annoying that there are a million of them now. You know, like it used to be like Netflix and Hulu, and now it's like the Peacock Network and Paramount Plus, and I'm like, oh fuck all of you.
Oh, I know, because I wanted Paramount because it plays that show Evil, which I liked, but I was like, you know what, I just can't right now. Like, there's enough stuff I haven't watched.
Yeah.
So
do I really need them all?
Fine. No, I don't. I pay for stuff that I don't watch right now. Like, I pay for Shudder, and I haven't watched Shudder in forever.
Right.
So I'll watch Shudder when it starts to get to be spooky time.
There you go.
Around August, I'll start watching Shudder a lot. Emma, do you have a bright spot for us? This is something we usually do before every.
Yeah, my bright spot this week has been that my kids are finished with school now for the summer, and I'm looking forward to the summer holidays, even though they've been arguing all day. I'm really looking forward to these summer holidays because, like every holiday we've had for the last year has been, I've either been on a deadline or, or they've been being homeschooled, when they've been home for a long period of time. And this is now like the summer break, and I just get to be with them and do activities. And, I've got little bits of work to do, but like nothing's pressing on me, and I can just prioritize them, which is really nice. And prioritize them in a way that isn't trying to make them do work they really don't want to do. So it's just so painful trying to homeschool an 8 and a 4-year-old. Like very different levels of what they could do. Bless their hearts, they did so well. I did not do so.
I did not.
I did not. Oh my God.
I don't think you're alone in that.
Like, they teach everything differently now.
Yes.
Is that true in England too?
Yeah.
Everything is taught differently here now too.
Yeah.
Common Core.
I don't understand. I mean, some of the things like made me rage in how they teach it now. Like they're killing creativity in like literacy, they call it over here, you know, when you're doing English and stuff. They're just like for an 8-year-old, and they're just hammering in like grammar and stuff like that. And it's like, that's not really, I don't know, that wasn't how I learned to write, and it wasn't how I got a joy of writing. Wasn't by learning what grammatical terms were and how to use them in a sentence. It was by reading things that I enjoyed and coming to understand how they were used, and then using them myself. So, and then maths, they seem to have like 6 different ways to work out how to multiply something or how to do fractions now. And so I would have to learn it so I could help my daughter to do it. And it was just insane.
We don't over here, like our parents would complain about new math all the time. Like every time my mom or my father would try to like help me, and they're like, "Oh, this new math," and I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Now it's like, "Oh my gosh, this new math."
Yeah, exactly. And so, how can that have happened again? What are they changing again?
Math. It's 1 + 1. Come on, guys, figure it out.
Yeah. I don't understand, and I feel like not enough time has passed for them to have new math again. Like I'm not that old. I mean, I just don't understand.
Question for everybody: does 2 + 2 still equal 4? It does.
I think so.
Let's move on.
I don't get it.
Yeah. And it's that thing of, you know, how much of this is even useful anyway in your life?
Boom! Right there.
Right there. I mean, I guess you never know. You never know if your child's going to become like a scientist or an engineer or something, and they're going to really need it. But
right. You're raising an astronaut and you just don't know it. And like, they're really going to need that scientific calculation.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotta do this just in case.
Just in case. Just in case. Excellent.
Let's talk about this book, baby.
Oh my God. Yes, let's fucking talk about this book.
All right. So guys, we will be back in two. What's that, Luna? Oh, you want to start a podcast? Okay, so what's it going to be about? History of the Byzantine Empire and how it relates to the Holy Roman Church through its culture, religious practices, and societal norms? Wow, that's intense. So how are you going to distribute your podcast to the world? Anchor.fm? Good call, Loons. You know that Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. That way you can spend more time chasing your brother Sherman and soaking up some sunbeams. I know Sherman can be a jerk, but he's just a cat, remember? And the other thing, it has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Anchor.fm is like one-stop podcast creation. Plus, it's free. I mean, as a podcast spokesdog, you have no idea why things hold monetary meaning, but just know free is a good thing. Yes, so everyone should download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, there's no need for that language. I think our enthusiasm is enough to encourage people to try it out. Seriously, Byzantine history, not like a dog treat or most doggy accessible park review? Okay, I mean, fine, but if you have more listeners than us, no busy bones for like a week. Oh, I mean a day. Ugh, I can't stay mad at you.
And we're back.
We're back.
So, we are talking about Sleepless in Sicily.
We are. I'm so excited.
It also renewed my, I want to watch Sleepless in Seattle again.
Oh my gosh,
I haven't seen it in so long. But the name, we've said it so many times in the last week that I'm just I really want to watch Sleepless in Seattle again.
MFEO. Made for each other.
Oh my God.
I loved that movie so much as a kid. MFEO. What is that?
That movie is really excellent.
Yeah. Ugh.
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
So, We, like we said earlier, got to interview Emma Jackson. We'll pop her interview in after we talk about our compliment sandwich and whatnot. So for now, here is the description of Sleepless in Sicily. Under the starry Italian skies, anything can happen. For most women, getting locked into a storeroom with movie star and undeniable heartthrob Rowan during a pre-production shoot in London would be the stuff of dreams. But for shy makeup artist Lila, it's more like a nightmare. It doesn't matter that Rowan is kind, easy to talk to, and even more gorgeous up close. With her social anxiety, she can't bear the idea of being embroiled in gossip and rumors about what exactly they were doing together. More scandal is also not an option for outspoken Rowan, whose agency is threatening to drop him if he doesn't toe the line. After the two make their escape, they promised to keep the incident a secret, and when they meet again on set in stunning Sicily, they pretend not to know each other. But between the blue skies and the sizzling Italian heat, it becomes impossible to ignore the attraction simmering between them. Lila and Rowan couldn't be more different. But can they find a way to bring their worlds together?
So this is where we talk about what we should add to this plot so that we can we can talk about it. So they get trapped in a closet, a storage closet together, and with no light. Which I was like,
no light.
Why doesn't this closet have a light? Anyhow,
and there's no door handle on the inside.
There's none. I was like, is this a nuclear plant? What's happening? I mean, I worked at a nuclear plant. What's happening?
What's happening?
So they immediately Lila tries to figure out a way to open the door, like to jimmy the door open, and she's like, we're here with all these makeup implements, like it could be there's something from like a sci-fi movie or something, maybe we could open it up with like a knife or something, which she finds like almost like a scalpel.
Yeah, it's like a scalpel. Yeah.
And so they try to open it up, and poor Rowan slices his hand wide open, like he ends up having to have stitches at some point. So he's like losing blood, and I have to say it's one of the best meet cutes I've read.
It is. It's really adorable
because like he just is kind of attracted to her by her voice at first. And same for her. Like she's like, huh. Well, first
she recognized his voice. She was
she's like, he is an assaulter. Like, at first he's like,
right.
And I don't blame her. I'm like, some random dude just shows up, shuts the door while you're trying to put stuff away in a darkened room. I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to die tonight. Yeah.
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 But then like he starts talking and she recognizes his voice.
Yes.
Now that does not mean that she feels more safe.
Right.
Like because she's
still like, he could be a fucking like horn dog. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, but there's moments where he's using his camera light to like find things, and he gets glimpses of her. And I'm gonna say, Emma, thank you so much for giving us both points of view, because my God, to get Rowan's side of things when he's just meeting her warmed. It was cockle warming because I was
it was cockle warming. My cold dead heart was just so warm
because he was just like. We experienced Lila the same way he did, like, and the same for Lila experiencing Rowan. But for us, I mean, we can always imagine there's a good looking, celebrity, but for him to be so infatuated or to be enthralled with her just by glimpses he got with, it was perfect. It was like chef's kiss, perfect. So,
and I also loved that, like, when they finally get out and he sees her, like, for real in light, like all of her, not just glimpses of her, he's just standing there staring at her because he's so blown away by how gorgeous she is. Yeah. And so I will take a little umbrage with the Dolores Umbridge with the synopsis. Sorry, I did not mean that one. And say, like, with the synopsis where it was like, she's shy.
No. That's the whole crux of this. Is she's not just shy. She has social anxiety disorder. Like
bad social anxiety.
Bad. So, and even he says at some point, I thought you were just shy. So that synopsis was like, no, that's no. It's worse than that. It's not. It's worse than that level of issue. But when during their meet cute, she realizes that like she can talk to him, and that she can open.
And that the darkness was sort of helpful for that because she couldn't see him.
Yes. So he's nervous because his sister's having a baby, and he can't. And that's all. The reason he went into the closet is to make a phone call, and there's no service, there's no light, and he's stuck. And so they both kind of realize the, tenuousness of the situation they're in, and decide to work together to try to get the fuck out. So that way, like, but here's the other thing. He's a fucking celebrity who's in, like, imagine Marvel-esque movies, like Avengers movies. So if press finding out that he was stuck in a closet with an American, like, makeup girl would be disastrous to his very not so great reputation in Hollywood. So that he's very worried about that, and he's very
because his agent's been on his shit about it.
Exactly. Like, I don't think he would care necessarily, but it's impeding him from getting other jobs. So that's where the issue comes. So she ingeniously finds a window that she is going to wiggle herself out of. So we have a good number of passages talking about him having to heave her up into the window. I have to say it was pretty fucking hot. I'm not gonna lie. That was
pretty
hot.
Like both of them like describe having to he has to pick her up.
Yeah, his face is in her like vagines at some point.
At one point he says, would it be easier if you put your knees on my shoulders?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, oh my God. Yes, it would. Yes.
And
it
even
would.
she was like,
Yeah. I mean, it would. And yep.
But he, and this is something we'll talk about more later, but like he is ultra aware of the fact that like she is in a closet with someone she doesn't know.
And she's uncomfortable.
And she's very uncomfortable. And at the very beginning, he's like, "Oh, I'll stay back here. I'll stay over here. I'm not like that.
I'm not a rapist." He
all but says that. He's like, "I'll stay over here. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. I swear this was an accident. I'm so sorry that I did this to you."
Yeah.
Because like he came in and shut the door. He didn't know that the door that he wouldn't be able to A, turn on a light, or B, open the damn door.
Right.
Because he didn't realize any of this.
Where's the engineer on this one? Come on.
Yeah.
Or the architect, I should say. Architect.
Right. Like,
yeah.
This feels like a hazard.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
I feel like a building inspector would say no to this one.
Right.
But, old buildings, you never know. So, yeah, that's like the whole premise at the beginning of this book.
Yeah.
And it's a really ingenious way that Emma came up with to introduce the two characters in a way that would immediately show us who he is, like who he really is, not just how the press portrays him, and allows her to feel more comfortable opening up to him, like not like on a super personal level, but even just being able to converse with him, which should have been difficult for her otherwise.
Because we have two scenes right before then. One is him talking to Gerard and saying his agent, and being like, Gerard's down his like throat about like he's got to go to this almost like a media boot camp because his answers to media aren't up to snuff in Jared's like opinion. And pretty much what Jared's saying is like when these nosy...
Is it Gerard or is it Jared?
Jared, I don't know.
He's a dick.
Gremlin.
Oh, that comes up too.
So one of the podcasts I like, they always call Gerard Butler Gremlin Battler. And so... And so I always think of Gerard Butler, I was thinking Gremlin Battler. So let's just say Gremlin. Okay. So when Gremlin calls and he's like, so yeah, you're pretty much like on the shit list for this director, was the director. this, like, I guess would be a family film series that they wanted him for, but because he pretty much, like, everyone's asking him what his sex life is like, and he's like, it's nobody's fucking business, one,
Right,
and two, my life, I don't have this crazy sex life that everyone thinks I have, but even if I did, it'd be nobody's fucking business, which, hallelujah, absolutely. Right. And so he has that he's going into, and so he also has to, like, Gremlin has convinced him to go into this, like, fake...
I like how we're just calling him Gremlin.
That's fine. Gremlin Battler has encouraged him to get into this, like, fake relationship with this American model named Cassandra. And he's like,
who is also a client of his.
Exactly. And so he's like, just come out to Italy for the week and I'll give you some PR training and then you can have a bunch of pictures taken with Cassandra. And then, like, that will be your PR, you'll be dating, quote unquote, dating for her for the summer. And he's feeling like, no, I don't think this is kosher. Like, I don't want to do this. But he's kind of pressured into doing it. And at the same time, she's having a conversation with her coworker and her boss, which her coworker wants her to go out for drinks with her and the rest of the makeup crew. And she's like,
which gives her anxiety. She doesn't want to do that.
Severe anxiety. Like, I've been there. Like, no, I don't. I really don't want to. I'd rather just go home and read. Like, that's where she's at. Like, I don't want to ask. I don't want to answer questions. And I can only imagine where she's at in her life because, like, I was at a different place in my life, and I'm sure you were too. Is that she doesn't even know what the fuck she wants to do. I don't even know if she went to college. I don't think she went to college.
She did. I think she did. But at one point, he asks. I think
when they're in the closet,
he asks about, like, is this your first job?
But
your first, like, real job or something? And like, after uni. And she says, well, after university, no. It's just that I took a long time deciding what I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. So you have that piece, too. That
she's, like, 25 or something, I got.
25, 26,
for some reason,
I
that's
think.
in my head. Yeah.
And so you have that piece of it. Where you're like, so you needed both of those pieces to understand, I think, to move forward with what happens with the rest of the book. Because you need to know, like, where Rowan's coming from with the choices he makes. And then where she's coming with the choices she makes. So.
Yeah. It's a pretty brilliant way to begin this book.
I think so.
Like, critical pieces get laid out in a really effective manner. I think.
And like we said, it comes full circle. We're not going to spoil it, so just know it, but it comes full circle.
But it all comes first. Yeah. Oh, man. It's so brilliant. It really is.
So with this podcast, I'm sure you know, we do a compliment sandwich, which the first top bun is our pro, something we obviously liked about the book. Our middle is our meat, which it's something maybe we didn't care for as much. It might be a piece of lettuce. It might be the giantest cheeseburger patty that you ever seen.
Double bacon cheeseburger.
Exactly. And then our bottom bun is another pro, so we can end it on a high note. My dear, do you have a pro for me?
Oh my God.
I'm sure it's the same pro that I'm going to have, so we might as well just co-sign this bit.
Let's just co-sign it and just get it out there.
Fuck.
Rowan?
Yes!
Rowan is the perfect man.
He is. I mean, if we got to see his dick a lot more like Jack Devlin, word.
Rowan is the perfect man. And I will tell you why. I need to publish this TikTok, but I have to edit it down a little bit. I wanted to know, and I asked my husband this, like, what do you think women would say is the perfect man?
What did he say?
He listed good things, like good attributes of, like, dependability and kindness and, like good characteristics. I know, right?
I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
Like good characteristics of, like, any good person, like, that you would assume, And I was like, you're not wrong about any of that. But I will tell you right now, what the one thing that I would say that would make every single woman, every hetero woman that I know, be like, will you go on a date with me?
Come in their
also,
pants.
will you just marry me?
Yeah.
Like, let's just cut to the chase. Please marry me. Spend the rest of your life doting on me. And here is why. Now, first of all, when they're in the closet, he is super self-aware and understands that she doesn't feel safe because she doesn't know who he is. So even when she does know who he is, she's still like, I don't know you though. Like, I don't know
Right.
that you don't assault women. I don't know that you're not a violent man. And so he offers to stay across the room from her. He like consent checks her like every step of the way. Like, is it okay if I pick you up? Is it okay if I do this? When they start like actually dating, he is super, super like cautious about the way that he touches her and like checks in with her to make sure she's still doing okay. And then like the pièce de résistance is something I don't know, I guess I'm going to have to kind of spoil this a little bit. Like, there's a thing that happens that's very, like, we see it all the time in Hollywood, but also in real life, where someone on set is being touched inappropriately and in an unwanted manner by someone in a position of power. And Rowan walks in and sees it and fucking drags that asshole out of that trailer and right in front of the director and refuses to work with the man. And I was like, that is what makes him the perfect man. The fact that, A, he is so self-aware and that he is really, really dedicated to making sure she's really enjoying herself every single step of the way through their relationship. But then he like calls this man out, and in not like he doesn't sidestep it, and he's not quiet about it.
Yeah.
He just drags that mother in front of the director and is like, we're done here. I'm not working with her
him
anymore.
or me.
Like
him or me.
Yes. Like at the risk of his career, his actual career, he's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's either him or me.
And I think part of him, I think he worried also, I mean, it's not explicitly said, but I think he worried that something happened with also Lila too. Because he couldn't find her.
Yeah. He didn't know where she was. He was worried about her.
Yeah. Which also adds to the, with him.
To how fucking amazing he is.
Like every turn, and you and I talk with Emma about this, but every turn he makes the right fucking decisions. Like so can I read a little bit?
Are you kidding?
Okay.
Yes. Read as much as you want.
Okay, so I'm going to read when they had the fight, and he comes to her apartment. He says something that I was like, even though, okay, so let me just say, so they're fighting because something has happened, and she doesn't want him to come in. And he's like, I just need to tell you whatever. He says, would you let me in, please, so I can explain properly? He's like, you've jumped to conclusions, and I can't blame you for that because you don't have all the information, but are you really going to refuse to hear me out? And I was like, that's perfect. Like, yeah, again, he's always like, I don't blame you. I don't, and like, and every time he has something, he's going to say like, I totally get it. And I don't, like, I'm not you. Or he'll say something like along the lines of like, I'm not a woman, so I don't understand this, or like that. Like I can't blame you for that, or you have your own reasons. Like he's very much like giving her so much
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
like,
and
respecting her feelings and her intelligence,
her autonomy. Like he's giving her complete autonomy, and I'm like, that's what all of us fucking want is just autonomy. Saying like, what you're thinking is probably valid. Could you just like, I'm just asking you to hear me out. Totally asking you to hear me out. I mean, I have so many other ones, but that one was like one of the ones. I mean, seriously.
And he doesn't. Let me pull mine up. He doesn't like push her, even when he pushes her gently. But when she says something like, when she makes a decision and tells him what that decision is, he does not push her.
No.
He respects her decision. He respects the boundary that she puts up, and then he like lets it go. Even when it's really upsetting and hurtful for him. He is like, okay, you have made this decision and I really care about you. And so I'm going to just let this go, and maybe we can revisit this later. For now, I want to let you do what you need to do in order to like work through the problem that you're having.
So when they're going to have sex for the first time, they're on a boat, and
on a motherfucking boat.
They're on a motherfucking boat. So it's their first date, and I think both of them are kind of shell-shocked as to how quickly this progressed. But I think it's one of those situations where you found the person, you found your lobster, and so you're like, sorry, I knew I had you on that one. So, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this is the first date. You know, you found that person that makes you feel happy, makes you feel content. And so they're about to like stick it in. And he says, he paused, gasping, and pressed his forehead to hers. "Is this okay?" he asked, voice thick and rough, enough to make goosebumps erupt over her scalp. "You really need to ask," she breathed, and tightened her grip on his hair, hardly recognizing herself, feeling drunk, like she'd been on the beach when she ogled him freely without embarrassment. She was going to take this moment for all it offered, let all the worries wait for a change. I mean, he does this every single time.
Like every step of the way.
When they kiss the first time, he even asks her, "Is this okay? I'm so sorry. Is this okay?" Like,
yeah.
I think you put in our notes, consent. It's fantastic.
Like I hate it when men try to make the argument that like that's not sexy.
That's fucking
consent
sexy as
isn't
shit.
sexy. And I'm like, I would climb him like a fucking tree. Are you even kidding me? That is the sexiest thing that I have ever heard in my life.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep.
Do you really think that it's not sexy when a man is like, are you like, this is what I'm saying, where like you want
during care, after care.
Yes, like this is what I'm saying when I say like you want active participatory consent.
Yes.
Like you guys are checking in with each other. Enthusiastic consent. You are talking to each other and checking in with each other about like how you're doing, how you're feeling. This is literally why there are safe words in certain
BDSM.
aspects of sex. Like,
who wants to have sex with a fucking wooden plank?
I don't. I mean, do you? I
mean,
I don't think men do either.
No offense to the British people, but lie back and think of England is not sexy.
No, it's not.
Sorry, Emma, I love you.
We love you so much. But it's just like that is so critical in my opinion it's another way that he shows her how much he respects her, cares about her, and wants to make sure, like really truly has her well-being at the front of his mind.
And I think that's what makes her, I mean, like, obviously it leads to why she opens up to him so much and feels so comfortable around him. And, like, it's really funny because Emma did something really kind of interesting with this book, because I forgot numerous times in this book that he was as famous as he was.
Yeah, same.
Because she writes him so naturally and so down to earth that I was like, I mean, I can imagine just going out for like to pub quiz with him on like a Tuesday.
He's very down to earth and chill and like,
and, yeah, exactly. And somebody
seems like a normal person.
Yeah, who's like, you know what? I don't like. I could hear him having his own podcast and listening to it and being like, yeah, he'd be like, yeah, women's rock and rights. Yeah, like let's do this shit.
There's also one point, I forget when this is, if it was the epilogue or if it was like a different time. I just forget. Lila makes a comment in her internal monologue about how it amazed her how often he forgot he was famous.
I could see that.
Because, like, I think in the epilogue, she specifically says, like, they're talking in a hallway. And,
epilogue,
and he's like, she's like, maybe we should be talking
we
about
move
this.
Out of we need to move out of the hallway.
Let's get out of the hallway. And, like, and he looks around and he's like, oh, right. Because there's, like, people there and they're, like, women are starting to, like, stop and stare at him because he's fucking famous.
Yeah.
And he, like,
it's Tom Hiddleston in the middle of fucking,
Right. Like, he just forgets that people know who he is and what he looks like. You know, and then she's like, oh, by the way, maybe we shouldn't be having this serious discussion, like in the middle of a hallway where anyone can listen or film us.
Right.
Because he just doesn't think about it. He doesn't care. And he says repeatedly, it's a common theme throughout the let me see if I can get this quote up. There's a common theme in the book where she says to him, like, how do you not worry about this? Like, how do you not think about it? Here it is. She swallowed and pressed her lips together and then nodded slowly. Right. Okay. She took that deep, steadying breath that he was starting to recognize as her way of steeling herself before she opened up and made herself vulnerable. Well, I guess I'm just finding it hard to believe, hard to understand how things don't bother you. How are you a worry-free zone? I kind of want to crack your head open and see what's wired so differently inside your brain to mine. And he says, well, that's graphic and a little violent, he teased, eager to alleviate the pinched look around her eyes.
But you know what? Like, I think we've all been like,
and a little violent.
What's going on in your fucking brain right now? I'd love to know what's
how
going
do
on.
you not think this way?
Yeah.
Like, this is just the way I've always thought. So I don't understand how anybody thinks about it any differently.
Can we talk about this? There's a line here that we bring up this line a lot on this podcast, and I'm going to bring it up.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Because this is Rowan, and this is this awesome, goes into our, like, adds to our, he might be the perfect man. Mm-hmm. Lila reminded herself that her roommate had been through a real roller coaster of a day. Hero? That might be taking a bit, so actually I'm going to go back a little farther because, Rowan gently detached Ruth and looked down at her with a serious expression on his face as he spoke to her. Ruth's buzzy, manic energy seemed to dim a little bit as she nodded, and Lila reminded herself that her roommate had been through a real roller coaster of a day. Hero? That might be taking a bit far, Jackie commented. He just did the decent thing, right? Hardly makes him a hero. It makes him not a cockroach, she sighed. The bar is so low. Sally laughed.
I have that exact screenshot on my phone.
Sally laughed. I agree with you in principle, but Sally leaned a little closer to Jackie and Lila. He did refuse to work with Stan. That's what caused such an issue today. But no, I mean, we talk about this all the time. The bar is on the fucking floor. Mm-hmm. I mean, I honestly think what Rowan did was leagues above the bar. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm sure there's plenty of just general men who would not do what he did.
Oh, yeah. I think there are a lot of men who wouldn't say anything.
Non-celebrity men.
Best. Yeah. And even celebrity men. I think most men would, like, see that and be like,
not get
maybe
into it.
Interrupt it.
Yeah.
At best, interrupt it.
Yeah.
So that the guy knows that he's there, so he stops behaving that way.
Do you remember a couple years ago there was a razor commercial? I can't remember which one. I don't know what the razors are, like the big men's razors. But there was one where it was like it had there was a transsexual man who was shaving, and there was like a couple other like people, and one of the scenes was like there was a guy harassing a woman, and another guy came up and was like, "No, man, no," and he stopped the other guy.
Oh, I don't remember.
Do you remember
that.
this?
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
I want to say it was what's a big,
like Mach 3, like Gillette.
It might be Gillette. But it was one of those. This shouldn't be a fucking commercial. We shouldn't have to. No,
we shouldn't even need to do this.
No,
like,
this should be fucking common sense.
This conversation.
Like I should. There's another commercial for it's a foreign commercial for a woman, an older woman who's watching some poor girl get like harassed on the train, and she finally steps in. I'm like, this shouldn't. Why is this a thing? Why are these beautiful people? I mean, they're beautiful people, but at the same time, the bar is in the fucking ground. It's under the ground. It's like 6 feet under, like our fucking lives are at this point. Like, for God's sakes.
We shouldn't have to encourage people. Like, I shouldn't, on a podcast in 2021, be like, hey, consent.
Right.
And standing up for women is literally
opening the door for another human being isn't like a fucking, like, you don't win a Nobel Prize for that, bitches.
Like, I shouldn't be having to say to you, this is what women want. Women want you to stand up for your friends. There's a TikTok that I watch sometimes when I'm sad and, like, need, I don't know, commiseration. But there's a TikTok of this young woman being like, there's, I saw some TikTok where it was like 5 ways your iPhone can save your life, like as a woman or something. And she was like, I don't need 5 more tips for how my iPhone can save my life. What I need is for you to tell Michael that he isn't allowed to fuck me when I said no. What I need is for you to tell your friends that they can't fuck me when I have already said no. Tell Michael he doesn't get to like touch my ass when I don't want him to. Right. Tell Josh he doesn't get to touch my boobs. I just need you to fucking stand up for me.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
No. We're giving you the formula, guys. We're giving you the formula.
Literally giving you the formula. If you are a man, one of the 4, who listens to this podcast, which probably means you don't need this advice, but like, if you want to know
spread the word to others.
Spread the fucking word to your bro friends, man, because that's what we fucking want. We want men who are going to stand up for us and literally help us not get assaulted.
Yeah.
You know who my heroes are? Truly who my heroes are? The men who stopped Chanel Miller from being assaulted behind the dumpster.
Yeah.
Those men are my fucking heroes. And she still keeps in contact with them.
Yeah.
Because they literally saved her that night. I mean, like, it's, you know, she was still assaulted and she still has, like, severe trauma from that experience. But what else would have happened if they would not have come along? So many men would have just walked by that and been like, I don't know, not my problem.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have all the facts. I don't know. Who would want to ruin this man's life? He has such a promising future.
Oh, well, I have to tell, I think I've said this on the podcast before. I've had to tell so many kids, so many high school kids, girls, I love what you're wearing. Because it was always dress code, not wearing a bra. That was usually the big one. And I was like, guys, I love that you're fashion forward. I love all of it. I said, I am just telling you from a safety standpoint, because this is why we have the dress code. And I said, I am not a prude. I don't care. I really don't care. But this is where I'm coming from. As a sexual assault survivor, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. We are in an era still where the police will be like, well, what were you wearing? Mm-hmm. You were in that? Well, obviously you were asking for it. So,
right. Regardless of what you're wearing.
You wear a fucking potato sack, and they'd be like, well, that's the sexiest potato sack I've ever fucking seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
those baggy pants still look really good on you.
Yeah,
you know?
Right? I mean, do they got a crotchless versions of those? Yeah, mm-hmm. So...
Oh, you had lace panties on?
Yeah, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, under those, like, fucking sweatpants? Cool, mm-hmm. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see how it happened. I mean, he knew you had some of those on, right? So...
Fucking pricks.
And they got so mad at me, but I'm like, I'm not trying to be the bitch. I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer, but I'm like, I'm worried for your safety.
I hate everyone.
Anywho... Now that
anyway, this is what makes Rowan so fucking amazing.
Right. Now that we're on a downward, let's go to cons.
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
So, my only con with this book, I mean, because it was hard to find one. I love this book so much.
I love this book. So,
it was just the time period, and I don't want to spoil anything. I really don't want to spoil anything. So, okay, well, I'm going to say one thing because I'm not spoiling too much, is that she finds out very early in the book that she has a half brother, mm-hmm. Stephen. And so Stephen has reached out to her, and she has kind of put it aside for so long. And kind of Rowan encourages her to write to Stephen, which she does, mm-hmm. and then makes a connection. And then she mm-hmm. ends up staying with Stephen because something happens on set that she needs to, like, kind of flee. Yeah. And my only con would be I would have loved to see 2 things. One, more time with Stephen. I mm-hmm. would have liked to see more Stephen and his pregnant fiance, Noelle. Yeah, I would have loved to see. They were. I love them a lot. I would love to see a little bit more interaction and making some more inroads.
I kind of want them to have their own book.
Like from the beginning, yeah. Like how they met and all that kind of good stuff. And the other part of that was because we go... So something happens and she leaves set, and she starts to make, because she has so much severe anxiety.
Oh my God, they do have their own book.
Oh, do they?
Yes, I just started to wonder, like, maybe they already do. Summer in the City is about them.
Oh my god, oh my god!
Is that the one you read?
Yes! Well, I didn't read the whole thing. Yeah, so, okay. I started it, but I didn't finish it.
Okay, because we, we wanted to, make sure that this was something that we would, just, background check, basically. Because we had not read anything from Emma Jackson, so Ray read, part of one, just to make sure that it was going to be something we would enjoy.
I liked it. So I was like, just tell her yes.
Yeah. She read the beginning and was like, yeah, just go ahead and tell Emma that we'll do this.
And honestly, Emma, it's not because I kept thinking, I'm like, I need to go back to it because I liked it. It was just I have read 400 books between then and now. So I apologize that it didn't click in my brain.
Super busy in the last couple.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Summer
it's so
in the
good.
City is
It's
about
so
them.
good. Yes. Oh my God. Now I
Okay, well, I'll have to read that next.
So I'm so
you know
excited.
what? I'll take that with me when we go on vacation soon because that'll be
my
a
gosh.
good, beachy kind of.
Yes, because I was telling you, I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, so Emma, I'm going to say this right now because when I was telling Veronica about Summer in the City, what was
Summer
it?
in the City,
Summer in the
yeah.
City, and I was like, so I said I really like her idioms, how she talks, when she refers to Stephen. His dialect and everything is very British. It's the way he speaks, his idioms are very much is British. And then when in the other characters, the Americans, his voice is very much not. And she goes, well, it's because she's British. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, now I feel like such an asshole. But I loved it. I did like it a lot. So that was
I didn't put that together either.
I didn't either.
I just happened to go to her Amazon page and was like, oh shit, maybe they already do. And then I was like, of course they do. Damn it.
Yeah. So
I'll
worst.
read that next week while we're out.
Worst. And then I'll write a review for it. It'll be great.
You're so good at the reviews.
I know. I mean, I don't know, but I thank you. Anyhow, so now that we know, so now I'll go back and read that whole fucking book and I'll know more about Stephen and Noelle. But
yes, but you wouldn't have met, you wouldn't have gotten, I understand what you're talking about. I would have liked also to hear more about. Yeah, and they write each other emails, and so you get kind of glimpses. But it would have been nice to have them spend more time together and get to know her in a familial relationship with Stephen more. Yeah. I get that.
Because now I'm going back to the whole book and what the whole summary of the other book is, and I feel really bad because now I'm thinking about oh yeah, that's the whole thing is he doesn't like her because okay, cool, I'm the worst. Anyhow,
you're not the worst.
Yeah. So I mean, that's all the thing. I was like, well, and now now I have more Stephen and Noelle, but so. I would have liked a little bit more time, a little bit more of a lag time before where she has, she leaves and comes back. Almost to be a little bit more.
I did like the reason she came back, though.
Oh, I do too. But I think, a little bit more jonesing on Rowan's part. And not that I wanted to put him into,
put him through hell. But
no, I didn't. But I wanted to have a little bit more angst in there. Yeah. I'm asking for
wanted more angst.
I know. A very low stakes angst.
Right? Yeah, I've converted you.
No.
No, I haven't. It's okay.
No, I haven't. No,
I love you.
No. So that was my con. I mean, it's really not a con. It's now that I know.
It was really hard to come up with something that I wanted to list as something I didn't like about the book. I mean, I really, really enjoyed this book.
I know. I mean, guys, it's a fast read.
It goes quickly.
The setting is fantastic. I mean, so we're gonna get into
you get to read about fucking Sicily,
right?
Okay, so
speaking of, that's my other con is the beautiful fucking atmosphere and prose and describing.
That's your other con, the fact that you want to go
to Jesus Christ, it's been a long day.
The fact that it makes you want to go to Italy.
Yeah, damn it. No, it's my other pro is that I'd like to go to Sicily, but I went there via book.
Yeah,
as LeVar Burton said.
Take a look. It's in a book.
A reading rainbow.
God, I love
Guess what?
LeVar
Guess
Burton
who's
so much.
Guess who's hosting Jeopardy this week?
I was going to ask, did he got it?
It's
Wait,
this
does he
week.
have like...
He's his guest. He's guesting.
Ugh, just make him do... Just let him do it.
I know, right?
The other thing... Okay, so my meat is... I would have liked... I kind of want like a sequel. I kind of want a sequel.
Yeah.
You
Get
know,
more.
like...
I want more.
I want more of them. Like, so in the epilogue...
Ruth's story.
There's like... Oh, that would be cool too.
Yeah.
That would get it like a Ruth story. That would be cool. What I like about... I like that both characters grow and change a little bit during the book, and even the way that they have not grown, that's a way that they want to grow. Like, it's something that they realize about themselves that they want to change. But Rowan goes through just as much of a change as Lila does, in that he realizes that he doesn't necessarily want what he's been doing, and he might want to kind of shift his career a little bit, like the focus of the types of roles that he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see how that plays out. I wanted to see moving forward, how, like, what kind of roles does he choose? How does Lila move forward with that? How does that all work out? Like, even in the epilogue, it says, you know, like, things are not worked out. Like, what kind of work is she going to find now? How is she going to find work now that the film has been wrapped, and things like that. So I would like a sequel. I'd like to find like, you know, they kind of, it's like a happily for now, you know, like that's the kind of the ending of it, which is, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I would just like to see them progress.
A 1.5 or something like that. Like a nice novelette between the two. Yeah.
You know, like something that would show us how Rowan is progressing in his career, like the next step of his career, and how she is acclimating with like the stuff that she's dealing with. Yeah. Which brings us to my bottom bun, which is the severe social anxiety that she has. And like you and I have talked about this, and this is something that we talk about also with Emma, so I won't like totally step on what we talk about in that interview, but the way that she portrays anxiety is the way that I feel anxiety.
Same.
The things that she, and I have like a billion quotes from it.
You talking about the gremlins?
I didn't, you know what? I did not actually screen cap the gremlins, but I knew that you would.
Yeah, I do. Like
that part, that she compares it to Gremlins, to like the movie Gremlin at one point. She just has like a lot of, I'll read this. As we had said, Ruth was trying to get her to go out to the pub with her, and she didn't want to. I forget what page this is on. I just took a screenshot of it because we had it in like the NetGalley app. There had been no question of going on to the pub to meet everyone after that surreal incident. Not only were her pants stained, she could barely think straight and was already exhausted. It was just a matter of time anyway. The postmortem was going to begin soon. She could feel it coming at her, a swarming cloud of locusts buzzing in the distance, sweeping closer and closer until they would finally land on her. 1,000 errant criticisms she would make about stupid things she said and done, micro-expressions she picked up on when looking at people, which told her, without a shadow of a doubt, that they thought she was a complete and utter weirdo. Those locust thoughts would nibble down at her sanity, until she was left barren of all self-esteem. So, an enjoyable Friday night to look forward to. I mean, that's very...
I can't tell you, yeah.
How my brain works. I mean, that is absolutely...
She at some one point calls it her lizard brain. And I say that so many times. I'm like, my fucking lizard brain will not... I mean, it can't handle... So... I don't know for you what your coping mechanism is. I've gone to therapy because I'm literally the same. My coping mechanism, funny enough, is theater because I can be somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't have to be me. Mm-hmm. And when I have to give my own presentations as myself is when I start to lose my fucking shit. Like in in grad school when I didn't have to do it in like this recent master's, but before I did, because I actually was there physically, had to do like, here's my presentation, and I would pretend in my brain, you are not yourself, you are a character. And because it was easier for me to be someone else. And I get that. I think that happens a lot with actors, actually. I think there's probably a good number of Hollywood actors that are like that. That this actually like might hit close to home for, which we we wouldn't be, privy to in generally, but
right.
Yeah.
Chris Evans has anxiety.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
America's Ass segment.
But at the same time, like I think everything that he can use, I think he's one of those guys that are like, or people in general, that will use whatever he can to be have it as a soapbox or for a, like some sort of pedestal that he can as be a pundit for.
Mm-hmm. There's another quote here that I talk about it in the interview with Emma. Something that my therapist has said to me, like, think about the worst thing that can happen.
Right.
You're not going to die.
Right.
Like, just think about the worst thing that could possibly happen, and then realize that will not be the end of the world. It might feel like it, but it's not going to be. So there's this moment where Lila, she envies people who can just like lightheartedly banter and make jokes and stuff like that. And she wants to be like that, but she feels like she can't because then she questions everything later on.
Oh, been there.
Right? Same. I'm there literally anytime I interact with humans. So, as Lila closed the door over the bathroom, she realized that only yesterday she'd been wondering if she'd ever be able to make jokes naturally without worrying how they'd be received. And 24 hours later, she'd just done it. Going out with Ruth yesterday had obviously helped her to relax a little more around her roommate. Not only had she joked this morning, she'd admitted she got lost, something she'd been too embarrassed to do yesterday when it actually happened. She'd told Ruth, and Ruth had barely reacted, other than to say she should have called. Ruth hadn't looked at her like she was completely incompetent. The world hadn't come crashing down around Lily's ears, around Lila's ears. It was amazing. Or maybe not amazing, but it was definitely progress. She didn't know how Rowan was going to react when they saw each other in makeup today, whether he would treat her like someone in need of carting off to the nearest asylum, or be totally normal, the same way Ruth had just been. But either way, if opening up to him yesterday had helped her shift some of her reserve and allowed her to relax a little more, perhaps it was worth it.
I mean, you and I talked about this actually, like, after our last recording on Friday. We said, I mean, I will lay in bed and think about things I said in fucking 8th grade.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Things that I was like, why did I say it that way? Like,
yep. There's like one thing that fucking haunts me from high school that I cannot believe I ever said.
Can I tell you the thing in 8th grade, and then we could just get it out there? It's out there in the ether.
Yes. And you know what? And I will tell you the thing that haunts me from high school. Go ahead.
So I had a friend who was Jewish, and we were talking about this history teacher that we had, and how he would say things, like he pronounced things funky. Like he pronounced like Hiroshima, like here, it was weird. And he said, he called the Holocaust like the Holocaust. And I remember like how he said the Holocaust? And I was like, oh God, you're I said it in front of her. And I was like, oh God, probably one of your relatives was probably in the Holocaust. Like, that was my first thought. Like, her face just fell. And I was like, I'm the worst person on the planet. Like, that's where, those are the things.
But you weren't like making fun of that. Like, it was the way that he said the word.
No, I know.
Just
but it was
to be like,
but again, that's where your anxiety comes in, and you're like,
right.
Oh my God, I'm the worst person on the planet. Like, those are stupid fucking shit that you're like, she probably, like, if I were to come up with this person and be like, do you remember what I said back in, like, and then she'd be like, no.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, she'd probably be like, no, I have no recollection of that. What are you talking about?
I mean, and you know me, like, the Jewish faith is one of the biggest, like I love Jewish people, so it was like, to think that somebody thought that I was making fun of that at all, or like, it breaks my heart. And so, like, I'm like, no, I was making fun of how he said it, like, because it was so, like, you teaching history, you don't know how to say Holocaust, like, it's fine. That's one of the things. So yes, that's me.
Okay,
so.
well, you are, I would say you're absolved because it's been a long time since that happened.
It's been 30 years, so
yeah.
I mean,
so
20
like,
something, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is yours?
So when we were in high school, we had to go to Kairos. Did you have to, like, was that a thing?
Kairos. No, I didn't do Kairos, but I've scheduled a lot of fucking Kairos, yeah.
Not such an option for us.
Well,
so anyway,
we had retreats. We didn't have a name for them, yeah.
Okay, so that was like
Both
the
Catholic
big
high school.
retreat.
Yep.
If you go to Catholic high school, you might know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we were there, if you didn't go, so like there's.
I mean, I went to retreats, so yeah, I did go.
Okay,
to
well,
retreats.
there's just like teachers gave speeches and stuff
Yeah.
and told stories. It's a lot of like storytelling and whatnot, and about like overcoming adversity and blah blah blah. Well, I learned that like one of the teachers that I really loved apparently had been married many times. And had been married many times, like, in a way that my mom has been married many times.
Yeah, my mom too, yeah.
And I, like, tried to make a joke about how, like, I was trying to say, like, I know I have experience with this. And I told a fucking terrible joke that was like, oh, God, Mom, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to say. I'm so fucking sorry. I'm sure I've never told you this. But I said, like, my parents can't figure out who they want to be married to either. Like something like that. And it was just so fucking terrible. And I still feel guilty about it.
I think that's
and
fine. I don't think that's like horrible at all.
It feels terrible. And when I, like literally, I still have my notebook from senior year English class. And when I see it and I see her name, I feel the shame again. Like,
yeah.
And I was 17.
Well, look at both of us.
Literally, like
both of us are like
years ago.
Well, like both of us are like, these are horrible things that we've done, and people are like, I'm sure people are
gonna be like, okay,
the fuck? I like fucking smoked meth. What are you talking about?
But this is what we're saying. Like, this is how anxiety
works. Yeah.
This is how anxiety works. Is that it? I try to tell myself, anxiety is a liar. Anxiety is lying to you. It is gaslighting the shit out of you.
Yeah, I mean, my dad has anxiety, so I have inherited this. Like, there would be times where, when I was living at home at the time, like, between, housing or whatever, and it would be like 5 a.m, and my dad would be up watching television, and, like, he had to leave for work at 5:30, and my mom was like, he's been up all night, just, like, he can't sleep because his anxiety is so bad. But then at the same time, in his same breath, he'd be like, you can't, like, you need to sleep because that's what they can't take away from you.
Oh.
But I inherited that. I mean, literally, I took before we started this tonight. I took another anxiety pill just because I knew I was going to be going into anxiety issues.
Yeah, talking about anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I totally get that. I mean, I'm glad I finally started taking an anti-anxiety med. I fought it for a long time. I don't know why. I don't know if I felt like I had never done it before. I was scared of doing it. Mm-hmm. I think I was worried that I would feel too numb. Like that I wouldn't...
You get a head rush and that's about it.
I got a head rush at the beginning and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like once, because my brain was like, what is all this serotonin?
Yeah.
This is so cool, but then like that disappeared pretty quickly. And then it leveled out, so it's not the effects that I have are not what I was expecting.
Well, I
think
it
most of the time helps my brain slow down for like just a half a second.
Yeah.
So that I can find like the rational thought before the spiral.
Well, and I think also it's like, and my doctor explained to me, it was like the anxiety pill helps stop certain impulses to your brain, so that actually it helps the antidepressant work, because I'm on antidepressants too, because like I think it's like you said, there's a spiral. Once you hit that spiral, it's not gonna
hard to stop the spiral.
Antidepressants aren't gonna do shit at that point. Right. And what she said is it stops that before, so that it lets the other pill do its work. Yeah. And it really has been. It was like, it's since I've been taking it, like, and I know when I need to take it, I'm like, okay, I know this is coming up, or I know I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get like really upset, and I'm like, I need to take my pill, like, because I don't know how about you are, but like I have like, because I'm supposed to take it twice a day, but I don't have to. I can take it when I want to, so that way, like, when it gets real bad, I can take another pill and feel like I'm a little bit more calm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I take mine at night. I mean, because like you're supposed to. One of the side effects is drowsiness. So like some people will feel like if they take it in the morning, they're drowsy by the afternoon. And I was like, oh, you mean just like my actual life? I mean,
yeah. I mean,
so
I take it in the morning,
It
and
doesn't
it's like
fucking matter.
Yeah.
So I take it at night, but I don't find that it helps me sleep. I'm the type of person that it kind of like Rowan in this, that like I can't fall asleep until I'm so tired that I can't keep my eyes open.
I'm same.
It has to be. I have to be so tired that I physically cannot. Like, I'll be reading on my Kindle and my arm will fall. You know, like, that's how tired I have to be before I can fall asleep.
On that note, do you want to do some first, or some or no? We do stunt casting first.
Stunt casting or hearts and eggplants, one of the two. Yeah. Do you want to do some? Oh, would you recommend this book?
Fuck yes.
Fuck yes, I would. All right. Do you want to do some stunt casting? Please tell me. Please tell me who you got. You said that you like went down a rabbit hole with this today.
Oh my god. So, okay. So, all right. Hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all of the links, and then I'm going to tell you. So let's just talk about something else while I'm trying to find all my links, because I mean they're in my thing, but Ray stunt casting. So I have so many. I'm just gonna put them into the thing, and then I'm gonna play a clip for you, because why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Okay.
And I think this might be the last one. So I'm gonna play.
Oh my god, this gif.
Yes, I know, and it plays music. So, but the one I'm gonna play. So I'm gonna play something for you. Oh, I didn't get to read the Gremlin thing. I'll do it later. That's fine. It's fine. We can actually. You know what? Let's leave it. Let's leave it. It'll be a surprise.
So
for people.
pretty.
So I'm gonna play this.
Meet somebody like you, and I never thought that I want somebody like you. Now I wanna fall in love. Now I wanna fall in love with you.
So, if you couldn't tell, I wish you couldn't. That was Tom Ellis, Lucifer from Lucifer.
Such a good show.
Oh my god! I don't know if it's just because I started watching it, but as soon as I started reading, and it could probably be a little bit of both. Like I put it on in the background, and I was like, I couldn't keep my eyes the fuck off of him. And
he's very pretty.
He's gorgeous, and unfortunately, I found something out about him that I'm not like super excited about. But that's fine.
Oh damn it!
Yeah, he might have cheated on his other wife. It's
probably. God
he did.
Damn it.
It's fine. He's pretty. I don't fucking at this point. I don't care. It's fine. I actually had a big thing where I talked about Josh Duhamel being fucking hot for like forever, and we all know what a scumbag he was. So, but Tom Ellis is so. I mean, and anybody who has watched Miranda with him in it, it's oh my god, like he's just, he's beautiful. Like
he's very pretty.
He's so pretty. Like there's something about him. Like, but him getting fucking built for this, like one of these last seasons of Lucifer on Netflix. Holy fuck my ass. Holy shit. He is goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very pretty.
Very pretty. I fell down a Lucifer rabbit hole, and I sent Veronica a whole bunch of pictures of Tom Ellis, and one of them was, I said, he's hot, and then I sent her this one of him just shirtless, lifting something. I was like, oh, Jesus. God, I gotta go. Where's my BuzzFeed vibrator?
Seriously, I cannot believe that's not here. Girl, I support it. I support it a lot.
It's cool. All right, so tell me yours. I'm so excited. I'm very excited.
Are you?
I am.
Okay, well, here you go. You might laugh, but I don't care.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Yeah, so my Rowan is Orlando Bloom, and the man doesn't age. I don't understand like how that's a thing.
No.
But yeah, even like whether it's a young photo of him or an old photo, because I think Rowan is in his mid-20s. I mean, he's like youngish, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't fucking care. Like, it doesn't really matter. He's still.
I love it.
Do you like it?
Because I honestly think that Orlando Bloom's probably a decent dude.
I think so.
I mean, it's like with Jenny Slate. I can't. Well, no, wait. I was going to say I can't imagine Katy Perry being with a douchebag. And I was
John
like,
Mayer.
but she was with Russell Brand
And John Mayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you know what, Orlando Bloom.
Yep.
I like it.
That's my
I like
Rowan.
it so much.
Yeah.
I like it so much. All right, I guess it's back to me,
Yeah.
right?
Who's your Lila?
Okay, so I'm gonna put them in the thing, and you're gonna laugh, and it's gonna be fine.
Doesn't matter.
And it's fine. We're gonna be better friends for it. There you go.
Oh, god damn. Oh, okay, got it. The first photo, I was like, who is that?
I
But
know.
She's beautiful.
I know.
Okay, I see it. I can see it. Yeah.
So it's Megan Fox. I found 2 pictures of her that are so natural looking that it's like, I don't know why she doesn't look like that. First picture is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, like,
Her eyes are beautiful.
her eyes are fucking beautiful. And yes, she's in, and Lila's supposed to have green eyes, but again, like contacts.
Color
But
contacts, whatever.
but honestly, like, I think her eyes are like, they could be green, they could be blue. But Megan Fox is also kind of underrated. I think she really is underrated as an actress. I think she got caught up in that Transformers bullshit, and I think she tried to get out of it and couldn't. And I think and I think she also has a horrible taste in men.
Isn't she with Machine Gun Kelly now?
She is, and she was also with Brian Austin Green for so long. And I'm like,
do they have kids together?
Really? I don't know, but gross. Because she's fucking gorgeous.
She's very pretty.
But the pictures I found were like her natural, very natural.
She was on New Girl for a while.
But she's got black hair and green eyes, or like light eyes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of going for.
I see it, and I support it. I think you're gonna like my pick for Lila.
I'm excited.
In fact, I know you well because I know you.
Oh, I wonder.
So my pick for Lila is Felicity Jones, and the reason I know Ray will love that is because she was in Rogue One.
She was.
I love you.
She dies, but it's okay.
Wow, major spoiler alert.
I mean, come on, guys. If you haven't seen Road 1 now, it's been like 6 years. So, also, well, you haven't seen fucking Empire Strikes Back. Just stop. So, her character, I love you too. Her character in Rogue One, oh my god. When she yells, Dad, oh my god, tears. Nope. Fucking tears.
Nope. Not crying tonight.
It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah, I just she's got dark hair. She has, it depends on the role, but like she is also seen with like a reddish tint to her hair, but regardless, like hair can be dyed. Her hair is like naturally kind of dark. And she has green eyes. But when I saw her, I was like, I can see her as Lila. Like she's beautiful, but she could be quiet and plain if she wanted to be.
Yeah,
you know?
And she's been in so many of those like Merchant Ivory sort of like. Oh, come
I have her
on.
IMDb up. Hang on.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I do. Rogue One.
She's in Little Dorrit. She's Dorrit, isn't she? In Little Dorrit.
Oh, I don't know. She was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, The Tempest. I mean, she's been in a lot of stuff.
Anything up.
She was Margot Frank in The Diary of Anne Frank. She was in Doctor Who,
Yes, she was.
Meadowlands, Northanger Abbey.
That's right, Northanger Abbey. That's a Jane Austen.
Yeah. Star Wars, Forces of Destiny, Rogue One, obviously.
I'm thinking of Claire Foy. Never mind. Claire Foy.
God, also gorgeous. I totally forgot about this. I don't know how I forgot about this. She fucking played RGB in
Yes, yeah.
in On the Basis of Sex.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen it. I was like, why does she look so familiar? It's that.
Yeah.
So
because
yeah.
I've heard it's really bad. So I'm like,
okay. Well, I'm just gonna not think about that. Yeah. So anyway, that is my Lila, and those are the only two I did. Did you? You didn't do any more?
No, I did.
Okay.
No, I did not. I spent many a time just looking at pictures.
Staring at Tom Ellis. Fair.
Yep.
Girl, what do you want to do for eggplants and hearts? Tell me your feelings.
So for hit me in the face with some eggplants.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Since that is our slogan.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna say 2.5 to 3.
Okay, yeah, I also said 2.5 because it's not explicit or graphic.
No.
But
No.
the way that it's described is so very sweet.
It is. I mean, when they start
And also
when their
hot.
first kiss.
I mean,
oh yeah, their first kiss is pretty hot.
Yeah.
Even though it's pretty tame. Guys. So as per reader, we have just recorded 8 episode of fucking American Queen.
Yeah.
Where there's a double vaginal penetration.
Yeah.
So we're
I actually really,
Yep.
and I told Emma this in the interview, I really appreciated the lighthearted, chill romance novel. Because coming off of American Queen, I was like, which both are excellent, but, it was kind of nice to just, read a chill book for a second.
Yeah, to bring it down a couple levels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the next one I'm reading is Ice Planet Barbarian, so I guess we're just going to, swing in the opposite direction.
Oh, fuck me, that fucking book. Okay, we'll talk about
more
that
about that later.
So it's one of those, their first kiss is fucking hot.
Yeah.
It's so hot.
It really is.
But it's not gratuitous. So I'm gonna say 2.5 to 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I totally agree. Because it's hot, but it's not explicit, super explicit. No. Right. No.
Hearts.
I said, okay, so there's not we talk about grand gestures and whatnot in books, but there isn't really here.
No.
However, the everyday sweet ways that Rowan shows her that he cares about her is so fucking amazing. So I said 3.5. Could have been 4. I mean, it's just...
I'm going to co-sign on that one.
God, it's just so goddamn sweet.
Yeah, I mean, because, it could be... If there had been something, there was something big that happened when she came back, I think it might have pushed up to 4, but I think 3.5 is good. I think 3.5 is a nice little... And that's all you want.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I didn't think there wasn't romantic enough by any means. I thought it was very sweet.
It's very natural.
Yeah.
You fall in love like they fall in love.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. You really do. Of course, with Rowan, I was like, hi, I love you. Can you... Long before she was.
Could you stick it in? Thank you.
We're the worst.
Tom Ellis. I don't want to fall in love, but I do with you. Anywho, even though you're married now,
song.
And hopefully,
is he married to Katy Perry? I don't know. They have a kid.
Who? Wait, are you talking about
Orlando? Oh, sorry, Orlando Bloom.
Yes.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking.
Don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I think he's pretty happy with her, though.
I mean, she could be happy with him because his penis is huge. Anyhow, it's actually not huge. It's good, decent size. Again, nothing to be ashamed about.
How do you know this?
Because there are naked pictures of him riding a Ski-Doo. We've talked about this. We talked about this during boyfriend material.
Right. Well,
Good
opening
times.
up an incognito window. So anyway,
like you've seen Chris Evans' penis, which I haven't.
That was an accident. I swear to God, Chris, if you were listening to this, I swear it was an accident.
I
like Chris Evans is ever going to listen to this podcast.
He could. Oh, like I voluntarily looked up Orlando Bloom's because I was into another podcast that was talking about how he shouldn't be ashamed for anything. I was like, okay. Orlando Bloom.
Typey.
Clickety clack, clickety clack. Anywho. All right,
so shall we Emma Jackson interview now?
Yes. Absolutely. So please enjoy. We enjoyed.
We really did enjoy.
Emma, please be our friend.
Please be our friend. We sound so desperate.
I know, but I don't care.
I don't care. She's so awesome.
I know.
Enjoy. So we are super fortunate today to welcome Emma Jackson, who wrote Sleepless in Sicily, and we have some questions for her. And Emma, I'm so excited that you're here because spoiler alert, we both loved this book.
Yes,
we really enjoyed it. It was like a perfect, lighthearted, like more lighthearted than what we have been reading. So it was just really nice to like chill out a little bit and read about beautiful scenery and two truly lovely people. It was just great. And I really appreciate that because I needed it in my life at this moment. So thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you for having me. I'm so
of course.
And to talk to people who love my book. That's a relief.
No, we both did. Because Veronica was farther ahead than me, and she's like, I'm really loving this book. And I was like, I am too. So we were very, very happy. And we both...
I wouldn't have been upset if you did it, because everyone has different tastes with romance and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if books and then romance, so... I would have understood, but it's still lovely. Thank God.
No, but like if you've listened, we like. I mean, I think for the most part, our likes and our tastes run the gamut. So we like. I mean, we just read a very raunchy, like
very explicit.
Whoa, yikes! But at the same time, we both liked it. So I mean, it just runs the gamut, and if it's good, it's good. And I think that's where we're,
yeah.
So,
That's kind of my reading tastes a bit like that as well. I can read like some really, really dark, strange stuff. I've got a particular friend who she recommends me some real banana stuff, and it's like, but I read it and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's written well, and I'm
That's exactly
it.
what where we're coming from. It's like for that stuff, because as I said in the last book, I said I've read some stuff that is not well written in that genre, and you're like, this is a slog. But then when it's written well, it's like, this is not a slog, this is something else.
Yeah.
So but that aside, yeah, and I think we both might love your hero quite a bit.
We can get more into this, but I truly believe that Rowan is the most perfect man I've ever read in my entire life. I am not kidding about that. And I think I did record a TikTok, although I need to edit it down a little bit, asking men what they think the perfect man is. Like what do they think women would say the perfect man is? Because I'm going to let you know right now, the answer is what happens in the trailer with him and Stan. The fact that is the answer.
Right, yeah.
That right there is the perfect man, because someone who steps in a situation like that is I guess I can't speak for everybody, but that there is not, I don't know a woman who would not be like, yes, I want that man, that man right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure I know many men like that. In fact, I don't know that I've ever met a man who has done that ever. Mm-hmm. And maybe they haven't been in that position, but I don't know. Like that takes a strength of character. And then when he has an argument with his agent about that, he's just like, you are not going to tell me.
Why is this a
point?
Problem. Why is this a problem? Yeah.
It's just absurd. I love Rowan so much.
Yes.
So much. He's perfect. Perfect.
Oh yeah, oh, that's lovely to hear because that's what you try for, I guess.
Well, yes,
When you're
agreed.
writing, you get a little bit like attached to them,
I'm
when you're
sure.
writing your heroes because you're trying to, but and it's weird because you can't it's you can't make them too
Sure.
perfect. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Right.
Like they've got to be like a rounded character, but it just
Yeah.
worked for him. Like we're jumping forward a bit. So I can wait till we talk about
It
it.
doesn't bother me. I could talk about Rowan all day long. I did feel like he was a well-rounded character, but there were moments where I feel like some people, I'm trying to think of like how I want to phrase this.
He made the right choices.
He
every
made the
time.
right choices, and then he respected her choices
Mm-hmm.
when she made them. He didn't
Yeah.
like overreach or try and like convince her or make grand gestures that would have made her uncomfortable. Instead, he respected her decision and respected her as a person enough to know that if she, if things work out, this will work out and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many men would do that?
Yeah. I think it was so important that he would do that for her because that's one of the biggest things. I know we're going to talk about that a bit later, but her doubting herself, and when she's getting to the point of knowing herself and going, well, this is how it needs to be, or this is what I think I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have worked if he was then being overbearing or trying to convince her of something else.
Yeah.
The fact that he had that respect for her helped. That was
Yeah.
part of how them being together would be a good thing for them.
Yeah.
You kind of want them to be develop themselves and independently, but also see how they're going to be a good couple and how it's going to work and that they support each other. And so I think that was partly how he was good for her and obviously for Veronica.
Oh, and Ray too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right. Sorry, I
was
leave you
just
out.
I was
No,
just further
no.
along, and so I was like, I'm telling you, he's the perfect man. And she was like, all right, fine, whatever, I believe you. But then like I got a text from her at one point that was like, I think you're right. I think he really may be the perfect man. And I was like, I told you.
There's no one-upsmanship on this.
No, none.
No, none.
Well, we've kind of gone into talking about Lila a little bit. Do you want to talk about her social anxiety and her just regular kind of normal, like everyday anxiety?
Yeah.
I am a person who has an anxiety disorder.
As am I.
Yeah, and so for me, I felt like the way that you described her social anxiety and her just literally living her daily life was so accurate to me. Like her thinking about later something she said or an interaction or some sort of little micro interaction between her and another person, and how she perceived something versus how maybe someone else would have intended an interaction to be.
Yeah.
I found that to be really true to my life experiences with anxiety. And I wondered if you have experience with that yourself, or if there's someone in your life who experiences this, or if you were just really that good at research.
I'm not that good at research.
Honestly, I love it.
Yeah, it's yeah, sorry. I'm just having a sip of my tea.
No,
You're fine.
Yeah, I've written a few books, and this was the first one where I was like, I really want to have a character that has this social anxiety, because I have it. I have social anxiety and just general anxiety too. I don't know if they go hand in hand generally, I guess.
I would imagine they kind of do.
Yeah.
I think there's at least for some people at least overlap there.
Yep.
So yeah, and I felt like I wanted to just dive into that, because you do get in like romance, you do get shy heroines and
Yeah.
or even anxious heroines, but I hadn't found one that had, like you were saying, Veronica, had really like got into that, how tiring it is day after day to just, to keep functioning, and all of those little things that are, I don't know. I mean, I can't see into the head of someone that doesn't have those anxieties, but I would assume it's not as much. You don't have to think about overthinking stuff, and worrying about what's going to happen. And I wanted that, to be able to do that, and for you to say that you recognize that, and you sort of, that is exactly what I was hoping for. It's not like I want people out there to have social anxiety, but I know there are. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and then reading it and having a story where it's like seeing that you can still have your happily ever after, because I mean, quite often I don't know, I can't speak for everyone. I know I put a note in this book, and I've never done that before. I don't know if you saw it. It might have been at the beginning or the end, just to say,
We didn't see that because mine started at just
Yeah,
the
mine
first
started
chapter.
at page 1. I didn't see
Yeah.
anything
oh,
prior to.
okay, yeah, because I just wanted to put a little note in it to say that I know it's not representative of everybody's experience. I think when you go deep into something that's very personal to people, it it can be hard to try not to be too broad, and you've got to be quite, they're still a character, so they're an individual and they're going to experience it a certain way. But it doesn't mean if there's someone out there with social anxiety that experiences different issues, that it's any less valid.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
saying. So I'd put a note in there about that. But yeah, just, I don't find it as hard to do sort of one-to-one things with people and have a conversation, depending on that person's character, possibly.
Sure.
But group stuff is harder, and getting quiet and things like that. But so I could see that it was, there's no reason you can't develop relationships with people because you have social anxiety. But yeah, so it was kind of balancing that, seeing how she could develop this bond with Rowan, but also still struggle with other things, and then obviously it being particularly hard because of who he is and what his life is like. It's like they say to put conflict in your stories, and it's like that's the most conflict I could think of. For two
Really nailed
people.
that
How are these
conflict
two
there.
Yeah, you
people
did.
gonna be together? Exactly.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
Well, it was very well done, and I liked. That's really one of the things that I love about any kind of angst or like hardship in a romance novel. I love having characters who they have some sort of thing that they're struggling with, and then they learn how they can live with it and cope with that hardship so that they can live happier lives, regardless of what that even looks like for them at the end of that book. Being able to seek out therapy like she was doing, and reading more about what social anxiety means, and things that may help her deal with it on a daily basis. She learned that she could have these things that she wanted. She could have a relationship with her brother. She could have a romantic relationship with this person who is in a much more public persona than she is or would ever be comfortable with. But she realizes that that's a thing she can do. That is my favorite thing about reading stories about people. Honestly, because that touches close to home for me. And I like seeing that represented in various ways. And then what I hope for people is that they can read that and that they can see this is possible for me too. If she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I didn't want to make it like a self-help manual, because I'm not, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know the ins and the outs of it, like at a clinical level. I only know it from my own experience. So it's it's exactly that which I wanted. Like, if there was a reader out there that could see themselves in it and then feel, romance novels, that happily ever after, it's about hope, isn't it? And optimism and stuff. And yeah, that's what I was aiming for. Just for her to get to that point. That's, to be able to feel like she could do it, partly from herself and partly with help. You don't have to do it all on your own. Yeah, that was kind of what I was aiming for. So I'm really happy.
I think you nailed it.
You nailed it.
I mean, I see a therapist every few weeks for my anxiety, so
yeah,
I'm going to see her this week. Actually, really excited about that. I love her.
I mean, I haven't. I went to see a counselor through work like a long time ago when I realized that, I mean, I was so crippled that I didn't even want to do that. I was like avoiding it. I ended up avoiding that. So for me, I sort of manage it in different ways, through reading things or, and practice. I think part of it is like pushing at your boundaries and finding what you can do. And then you've got the reference to say, well, I did it and it was okay. And just trying to keep positive thinking and, but it's all different ways, isn't it? That you can, you can try. Yeah.
Something that my therapist has said to me before is like, what is the worst that can happen? Like, go ahead and let yourself think, what is the worst case scenario here? And if that worst case scenario is like that person says no to the thing that you're asking for, well, I mean, did you die? You're probably,
this is it.
what is the worst thing that can happen by that person saying no? You just, now you have an answer. Now you have a data point, and now you can move on to the next thing. And it's not insurmountable.
No.
Although it might feel like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's been quite hard for people with anxiety, recently, because it's kind of like, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, it is happening.
You could die. So it actually could be that you could die.
Yeah. And I think, it's probably no coincidence that it's kind of, that book came to me at that time as well, because the less you see people, the more it, like I was saying about like practice of seeing people, it's very easy to go, all right, well, I can't see anyone anymore and I'm going to be in my house, and not out socializing. And then you start to have to do it when things are opening up again. And it just makes you realize, oh, I've got to remember all these ways of coping with it. And I think everyone's got a bit out of practice of talking to people.
I like that you say that, like, practice. That's such a good way to think about it, that you're practicing. Like, we're all practicing, quote unquote, like how to feel normal at times. I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, is because anybody with social anxiety knows it's like that bit of time where you're like, I just want to feel like I'm like everybody else. And you captured it really well. It's like, I just want to feel like everyone else besides me feels like they can go and talk in front of a group of people they don't know and not feel like everyone's judging them. Like, that would be wonderful, So yeah, like you said, practice. We're all of us are now so out of practice. I mean,
And for me, like that's something that we've talked about in the podcast a little bit, is how COVID and being in quarantine and being so isolated from people, I really dove into romance novels because it got me out of my head, because otherwise I was just in my own head all the time. And I had there's nowhere to go. There's nothing you can really do. And my husband was home all the time and my kid was home all the time. And I was just like, I can't handle this. I don't have enough of an escape to get out of my head, because my head isn't really a great place to live. It's kind of like, it's a lot of that intrusive thought down a spiral kind of, if I can't stop it, And so for me, like, this became the way that I dealt with this. So I'm glad that you were able to find some creativity in that, and you were able to like get a book baby out of it, because it could help other people too, and I think that that's great. I'm grateful to you for that you were able to channel that part of you and put it into a book that really might help someone else.
Thank you. Because it is quite, because this one's quite personal, it's quite scary as well, because
Sure.
it's,
I'm sure
thinking about social anxiety. I'm putting it out there, and it's like, I really hope people like it, because like, if they don't like Lila, do you know what I mean? If they're like, she's really boring or annoying, and it's like, well, that's the worst thing I could hear. But at the same time, I'm like practicing those things and thinking to myself, well, that's okay. That's their opinion. It doesn't change my intention for why I wrote it, and that I did my best with it. And even if it was like 9 people out of 10 hated it, but one person found it, like, they got something from it and were able to see themselves and feel validated from it, and then that's kind of worth it. You kind of have to think about it that way, otherwise you go nuts.
Well, you found 2 here, so I guess like we're already beating those odds.
That's just made my day.
Well, I'm glad. Oh, I'm not gonna cry. I'm really not. Please tell me you had to endure the hardship of going to Sicily.
Well, I'd been to Sicily. I didn't get to go. Not
this
recently.
time, but you have been in the past.
To go back, because it's absolutely beautiful. I went when I was 21. My mum got it for me as like a present for my 21st. Me and her went over and had, how long was it? Was it a week or 10 days? I mean, but it was just gorgeous, and it was lovely. You know how different people go on holiday for different reasons. Like, some people just want to sit by the pool, and some people want to explore. But me and my mum were like just on kind of a level of the same thing. We wanted to go and see the sights, and so we got to do like quite a lot of excursions around there. And I couldn't even fit all of it in the book. I wanted to, because we went to some amazing places. They've got like these Greek temples and things like that are just like these old aqueducts, and I do mention Taormina and the amphitheater, and there's another one in Syracuse, which is just, they're amazing places to go to. And it's this fantastic island that's just so full of history, because it's been invaded by so many different people, so many different countries over the years, and you can see all of that. There's just it's phenomenal. And when we went as well, that Etna had an eruption. There was a lava. Thank God it was not anything drastic. It was just, and that was the amazing thing. Like, talking to the people there was, the Sicilians. They were like quite proud of the volcano, which was like really interesting, and something you don't get to understand unless you've been somewhere, I guess. They were just talking about it, and they'd point it out, and they'd be, oh, but you should have been here, when it was like huge. It's like, no, I don't really want to be there.
No, hard pass.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
Ill on that one. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be out at night, and you could see it like just glowing on in the distance.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It's an amazing place, and I really want to go back. And this was the best way I could do it. It's the only way I could do it at the moment. So I did have to remind myself of like some of that. I got my mom to send me photographs and things from when we went. And then I've like YouTube is amazing for people who go on holiday, and they take lots of video of where they've been, and just bits like that to refresh my memory.
It felt like you had been there.
Yeah,
that's why I asked. It was described so well and in such detail that it felt like someone had been there, like you had been there. So it made me want to go even more than I already wanted to go.
Right.
It's so nice when you read a book and it feels like, it is like you want to go on that holiday. You want to get there. It's lovely. I'm
a person
nice
when I read that I can like see what is happening. Like, I guess that's not normal. That's not a thing that everybody can do. But like when I read, like, it's pictures in my mind. So I like very clearly could see like the villa and Lila like climbing up onto a rock and like thinking that Rowan was a mirage coming out of the water.
I loved that bit.
Yep.
And all of the
I
Pride
can see
and
you
Prejudice.
have a very clear visual picture of that.
I do. It very much was. I loved all of the Pride and Prejudice references. And
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Can,
so
can I ask my
amazing.
question? Can I ask
yes,
my
can we
question?
let's just skip
All right.
forward to that one.
Yeah.
All right. Which Pride and Prejudice adaptation is your favorite? There's no wrong answer.
No, there is not.
No. I mean, I think
I'm so kidding.
it is the one with Colin Firth.
Okay.
Just purely because, well, there's probably a couple of reasons. But
Fun scene.
it's long, it's a series.
True, yes.
So you get more. And I think for when you like really love a book and it's adapted, it like I mean, I'm not someone who's like really harsh on the films when they're not exactly like the book, because I understand it's different, you get into the characters' heads and you see things different in a book. You can't always have that on the screen. Right. But it is nice when you get a series, because I think they can do more justice to like the subtleties of it. So I love that. And obviously Colin Firth. I mean, I was probably a teenager when that, I think I might have been younger, and then I watched it later. I don't know what year that came out.
I'm about to look it up. Was it?
I think it was 94. Which?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was like only just, I would have been 11.
Okay. So you're okay.
I remember we have this show over here.
95.
We used to.
Okay.
Oh, 95. Yeah. So
I was 10.
I was just starting like secondary school. And then I think I watched it probably a couple of years after it came out, when I was able to stay up a bit later, maybe. So that was like one of the first, probably one of the first period dramas I really remembered and got into and watched. But I do love the Keira Knightley one too. I think that's gorgeous.
It really is. It's
I think
beautiful.
for all of us, it's probably that last scene with them before he goes to ask.
I think you get a little bit more of that satisfaction romantically from that one.
Yeah.
Like the happily ever after bit is like just a bit more. Yeah, there's a bit more closeness, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, we get the kiss in the Colin Firth version after they get married, but we don't. I mean, it's not as dramatic as the.
No, that's it. They're married then, aren't they? It's like there's no risk. Yeah. They're married. It's happening anyway. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like that adaptation with Colin Firth is probably more like accurate to the time in which the book was written, but then the Keira Knightley version gives us like the more modern adaptation that maybe we'd want now without like totally taking away the original source material.
Can I just say that? Oh no, I was just going to say, like, thinking of modern adaptations.
Yeah,
like my absolute favorite adaptation of Jane Austen is actually Clueless.
Oh my gosh, yes. That movie is fantastic.
It's the best. I just love that film so much.
It's so witty and smart. It's so smart.
Yes, it really is. And it's sort of like, it's classic in its own way and has really kind of stood up to the test of time. Like it's got a cult following and people still love it. Alicia Silverstone still makes fun of it on her TikTok. Like she randomly does she just got a TikTok account. And so she does like little scenes with her family from the movie. And it is so funny. I think this was like just the anniversary of it being released or something, like probably the 20-year anniversary or whatever.
Well, because you had at that time, you also like Clues came out at the same time as 10 Things I Hate About You, which is Taming
Did it really?
Right. Yeah. Nice. They were like around the same time, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And then you had She's All That, which was Pygmalion. So, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there were a lot of those, weren't there?
Yeah.
There were.
I didn't think about that.
But pretty good. I mean,
same sort of time.
I would watch all of those movies over again.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This year.
They're brilliant. Yeah. So much fun.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh.
I love your number 4. Please ask your number 4.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to. Okay. So there is now. I love me a good group chat. I love it. We have one constantly with the person lead. we have one with our friend Lee, who was a guest on the podcast for the episode of Boyfriend Material. And in that book, it's really funny. If you've not listened to that episode or read that book, you totally should. But
Okay.
they have ever-changing names for their group chat. So we have started to do that where we
Oh, I
change the name of the
see.
group chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never not funny. But
Right now it's gays and gals.
right, yes, right now it's in case and cast. It has been many inappropriate things also in the past.
Oh, yep. We will
Many
get into
inappropriate
that here.
things.
Yep.
But regardless, there is a group chat.
John Ossoff.
There is okay. So in Sleepless in Sicily, there is a group chat between Rowan and all of his superhero friends from the
Yeah.
superhero books that he is, or from the superhero movies that he has been in.
Helios,
My
yeah.
question to you is, which person, like, how do the members of the group chat match up to Avengers? I have my own ideas for who I think is who, but I was wondering if you had thought about that.
I have to say, this question was like it. I've spent so long thinking about it in comparison to all the others because I loved it. I absolutely loved it because I've kind of like I kind of invented the not in detail, just like a vague idea of what
Yeah.
the superhero films would be like.
Sure, yeah.
So I kind of had like actors with their characters and stuff that obviously are kind of inspired by the
Sure,
Avengers
sure.
films. But I thought, right, I'll try and answer it because it was getting complicated. I was like, it would be this actor but playing in this role, and then I was like, I'm virtually writing a script for a superhero film. I need to start.
There's gonna be like a prequel.
Yeah.
It's your own treatment
Yeah,
for the next
exactly.
Avengers film. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
Yeah, this is it.
Sell it for
And so-
$700,000. Don't worry about it.
So I tried to get it much more simple, so I could just be like, let's just try and think. If I had to think of somebody, right? So I've written it down. Right, Pearl would be Valkyrie.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay, sorry, I'm really excited.
yeah, because I love the four set of films are like my favorite bit.
Oh,
of
the third one
Avengers.
is my favorite.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
Taika right here. Yep.
And then Christoph would be Christoph was a hard one, very hard. But I think closest would be like Bucky.
Oh yes, I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I feel like everything Sebastian Stan. It's
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
anything that conjures an image of
right.
Sebastian Stan in my mind is totally fine.
As you can see, I'm looking in the distance, thinking about Sebastian Stan.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm back. Back, guys.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
Jaden. That was a tough one. That was really tough, but probably closer to Sam, Anthony Mackie. that
Oh,
kind of-
fun. Okay.
Oh, I love Sam
Dynamic.
too. Yes.
It was that was a tough one because honestly, I was like, if there'd been a live action of like Spider-Verse, it would be that
Yes.
version. That was actually more what I had in my head.
Oh, cool.
Like when I tried to pin it down, but obviously there's not been an actor that's done that yet. It's an animation. So that's,
Yeah. Well, what
complicated.
character from the Spider-Verse though?
Oh, oh God,
Milo?
what's his name? Miles. Is it Miles? Yeah,
Miles Morales. Yeah. Oh, I like
Miles
that.
Morales. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was,
That
but
was such a
older
good movie.
again.
Yeah,
Like
but old, but
complicated.
yes.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's like when I start
Fine.
thinking about
I
this
got it.
person, but slightly different and actually alive, a human being. So, and then Rowan's character.
Oh, I was gonna just ask you,
Oh.
who is Rowan? I'm so excited.
So, just to be difficult, not an Avenger. The closest character would have been. Did you remember the older Fantastic Four, not the most recent one? Have you seen that one?
I think I know where you're going. I'm so excited.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yes, I do.
But Chris Evans in that.
Oh no, I
would
thought
have
you were going
been
for
that kind of character.
Oh,
No.
okay.
But looks wise, he doesn't look like Chris Evans. That's not who I have in my head for Rowan.
Gotcha.
So
I thought, was it Ian Gruffins? I think that's who you were going for. Who plays was it Mr. Fantastic?
Oh yeah. Oh, see, I like him, but no, he would have been a bit like Rowan's character in those films was much more that cheeky, young, sort of cocky type character in my head. This doesn't exist. I've not written anything of it, but in my head, that's what it was. So,
I love all of this, Emma.
Yes, I love this. I love this so much.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm the biggest nerd, so I'm super excited about all of this.
It's totally fine.
I
love that you took that so seriously.
To talk about this crazy stuff. In my head, really seriously. It's like, I have to get this. Yeah. I think if it was in Avengers, then closest would be like more like Thor, like Chris Hemsworth type. For the humor and stuff.
Oh, sure.
But again, not looks wise. So.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now I need to know who you were thinking of.
Okay, well, the thing is, so I also saw Rowan as Chris Evans. However, I thought of him like in a Captain America role because I was like, Captain America would have stood up to Stan. Captain America would have been like respectful and like kind and just in generally like he's such a good person. Like all the way to his heart, a good person. And so I really pictured him like Captain America.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably I like, because Rowan's, how he's seen is not how he actually is. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you knew how he
That's true.
was. Do you know what I mean? Like his persona was not the same. But genuinely, the stuff they talk about where he like speaks up for Pearl in interviews and stuff when people are being like, creepy.
That hits so close.
Chris
like,
Evans.
That's very true. That's so very true.
Because he does stuff like that.
Yeah.
He comes across as such a gentleman. I don't know him.
Well, no, because there's
like,
that. There's an interview with Scarlett Johansson and what's his name? Who plays
the guy who plays Hawkeye?
Hawkeye, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyhow.
Right.
Where they're asking about her underwear, and she's like, and as much as I don't like Scarlett Johansson, she was like, why is this appropriate? And he was just going on about it. And I think at one point he mentioned something about her being slutty. And I was like, you dude sucks. What is his name?
Yeah.
I don't remember. God, it's driving me crazy. Yeah. So no, I totally get and I think Chris Evans would be one of the ones who would stand up. I actually think RDJ would too. So
yeah, I think Robert Downey Jr. would as well. Mm-hmm. So I actually pictured Jaden as Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
The height thing, wasn't it?
No, I was thinking of it because Jaden said something like he is shorter. That is funny. I'd forgotten about that. I was actually thinking about it because at one point he was offering to take some of like the heat off of Rowan.
Yes, that's right.
Where he was like, if you need me to just flash somebody on a balcony, I can do that. I was like, that's something that Iron Man would do.
RDJ would totally do that.
He would totally do that.
Yeah, without cocaine, he'd totally do it.
So that's what I was thinking of, was that like RDJ would want to like take some of the heat off of his friend by like doing something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like eating a burger at a
saving a child from a fire.
Yeah, he would absolutely do like whatever he needed to do to get the heat off of like, and I understand what you mean about like the way people see Rowan is not who he is, but who he is Captain America to me.
Yeah.
But I could see why you'd think like Thor, like that would make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
sorry.
You're fine. We do that all the time.
Mine falls off all the time.
Getting too excited talking about Avengers.
We're just so excited.
We're talking about hot men. Of course we're excited. Come on, guys.
I mean, hello.
I love that this
I know. I have the craziest life. Like, what is my life? I swear, I look at that all the time.
Yeah.
A weird job. And this is like my chosen outside of my job. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm so glad that you put so much thought into
I
that.
love
That makes
it.
me really happy because I
Love
spent
it.
every time the group chat came up, I was like, I feel like I'm reading something about the Avengers right now. Like I could like see it in my mind where they would all just be. I love that they still have that bond. I think that that's super fun.
Because I don't think
Yeah.
that happens over in the DC
thought
land.
that had-
Nope, no one from the
It doesn't
Justice League.
feel like it.
No, because you got Jared Leto sending like condoms to
No.
people. So no, it doesn't happen
That's
over
weird.
that side. He's gross. Anyhow,
Mm. Yeah, none of them seem like that. I mean, I don't know. Again, it could be
It
all
could.
being
It could
PR.
be.
You never
You know
know.
what I mean? It could all be. You never know, but I like buying into
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well,
it definitely feels like they've got
Yeah.
that family thing. You know, like when you see them all at the press conferences
Oh, yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and they're
It
joking
seems like they have a
around.
camaraderie.
You
Like
know,
they're really like they talk in real life.
hmm
And it makes sense because they have to spend so much time
Yeah.
together. That's why I thought I wanted to have that, that still there. He couldn't have spent like that many years working
Right.
with these
Right.
people and then just like that's not what you do. You keep in, some people you keep in contact with and
Yeah,
some
sure.
you don't. But it's
But it did feel like
Yeah.
I think that that's awesome. And I mean, even Tom Holland and RDJ like talk to each other sometimes and like will randomly
everyone
hype each
jokingly
other.
hates
that's so
Tom
sweet.
Holland.
Oh,
Everyone
Yeah, they all
jokingly hates
joke
him.
about how they
I would adopt him.
Because he spoils everything, but I kind of love it. I love that he kind of accidentally spoils it, but then freaking Mark Ruffalo goes into the Thor premiere and records like half of it, and everyone's like, "Oh, Mark Ruffalo."
Oh, they're just
Yes.
brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's so many of them that are just like they're
Yes,
so funny.
They
in
are.
real
They
life.
seem like really quirky, hysterical people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Ray, I think your questions take over now. We already
yes.
kind of got to a couple of them, but go ahead.
Okay, so I know this was to take place during the Second World War, but I felt like for some reason, maybe because it felt like, and I was trying to get an idea, was a lot of this from just a solitary movie, like a solitary shot, like a perspective of just Rowan, because I got 1917 vibes. Like if you've seen 1917, like a lot of it is there's the two kids, and at one point there's just the one kid. So that was kind of my
Right.
R.I.P.
It was really weird. When I read it, I thought, that's very specific time that you were thinking of because I haven't seen the film, so it didn't come to my mind. I was like, 1917 in particular. I was like, oh, and then it dawned on me afterwards. I'd written my notes and I went in, I was like cooking dinner. I was like, oh no, there's that film, isn't there? So
well,
genuinely,
that's very specific.
Yeah, I was a history minor, but not that specific.
Yeah. I was like, so you must know Sicily really well.
I
Like,
do.
in 1917. Wow.
I
don't know.
moonlight as a history professor at the local college. I love all this video.
So if I've done that, it's like by weird sort of cultural osmosis or something.
Oh,
If I
okay.
have reflected that film because I've not
so
actually
funny.
seen it. All I've heard about, I mean, it's a Christopher Nolan film, isn't it? Is that right?
Was yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's got like an epically long shot, hasn't it? Of like,
It does. I mean, you could tell the cuts, but definitely, I mean,
yeah.
I also
That's
fell
all right.
asleep during it, so that happened.
Okay.
So that was
This
like, I was
film's
like,
more interesting.
Well, probably you're looking at Rowan the whole time, so you know.
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Also, I had a lot to drink, so it was fine. Don't worry about it. Lots to drink and a dark movie theater. Meh. And at some
Yeah.
spaces, nothing happening. No
At
one
the end of a
talking,
long
so-
day, what do you want from me?
Yeah, we had also seen like 3 movies a day, so
Right. That was like
FYI,
Oscar day.
It was Oscar day. I enjoy, when I woke back up, I enjoyed it. Sorry. The worst. Anyhow, so I was kind of thought, but it was very reminiscent of
Okay.
that one person.
All
But
I was thinking was like I had to think of something that could be a film that would, because it's a small picture that's like
Right.
quite integral to the point he's doing, like a smaller picture, and not have a massive cast. I had to think of an idea,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's like a lot of characters to juggle and be involved, and you know, it just, to make it then feel realistic, you can then just lose. It's just tricky to get it all in there. So those are my thoughts. And then I was also thinking about like Sicily at being an island, and like I said, because I'd been there and I knew how much invasion and stuff was like part of the history. So I did a bit of research about what went on there during the Second World War and stuff, and there was like the Allied forces had a big invasion of it, to occupy it, that was called like Operation Husky. And I thought to myself, well, they would have had to have had like missions where they were like checking it out. You know, I'm sure there's like a military term for that, but I don't know it.
Reconnaissance?
Reconnaissance,
That's the
probably.
one.
Yes.
A recce. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Then I thought, and if that went wrong, and then there was, and they were left there. And have you ever seen the film Guns of Navarone? You know, it's a really old film.
Gosh,
it's got Gregory
yes. I
Peck
think it's
in it.
been a long time, but yes.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I think it's based on a Greek island, and it's in the war, and there's like a small party that have to go there and do this like mission. So I kind of had that in mind as well as like an idea, because I knew also it had to be like an action thing, because that was what he'd done mainly. So it was like all those little elements just kind of had to add up. And then when I started to write it, I realized, well, actually there's even more to this, because he's on his own and he's having to act, it's a lot of tension. It'd be a very tense film, and then how that would play into what was going on with him too. It's funny how things like that happen with writing. You're thinking of something different and you start to do it, and then it's like, oh, that actually really works, that's really connected to what needs to happen for this character. So that was it, really. I like it. I didn't have any particular. It was just like a bunch of different things that had to fit to make it work in the story. Yeah,
totally get it. And FYI, Benedict Cumberbatch he's the big cameo in 1917. So I ruined it for everybody, but
Oh. Okay.
I was awake for that part. So.
How long is the film? Because like Christopher Nolan films are
they tend to be longer.
They're long, aren't they?
They are. It is long, but
I can look it up. I have Google Docs at my fingers.
You Googs it.
I'm Googling it.
So I'll move on to my next question as you're Googsing it. What is your setup for your writing? How do you like your space? Like, is there a certain place you write?
So I've got in my bedroom, my partner did this really lovely thing. I went away for a conference a couple of years ago, and I don't have an office space or anything like that. He does now. He's got one in like a garage, which is really useful. He'd done that for himself, because now that is permanently where he works. But in our house, we didn't have. I didn't have like a room, because now the kids have each got a bedroom. I used to have a desk and like a space, but now they've each got their own room. So he got one of those really clever desks that you fold down. So it's like you open the cupboard and you have a desk that comes down. It's like, and my bookcase is in there too. So I feel like it's like this little secret place. I love it. Like my ideal of writing. But I get it out. And yeah, I mean, that's like the dream, isn't it, for most book lovers? Is like, you pull a book down on a bookcase and you get a door opens and you're going down a secret passage.
Yes.
It's the closest I'm going to get in my house.
I like it.
So I've got that, but I do move around. I mean, all I have is my laptop and endless cups of tea and lots of scribbly notes. I'm really terrible for every time I start a new book. I intend to plan it really carefully and, be really organized. And always I end up with scribbled notes in like tons of different places and lots of lists. But I move around as well because I feel like sometimes if I sit in one place for too long, I get a bit stuck. So I move around to my dining table, or I'm sitting on my sofa in the evenings because that might be the only time I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So it's I just move around. I'm not. I wish
You
I
don't have to be
had like
stationary. Yeah.
some beautiful, like the dream writer's office that people think of, and you've got the window looking
Yeah.
out onto the
Yeah.
ground.
Like in
it's
a Stephen
perfect.
King novel or a Stephen King movie where
Yeah,
they're like sitting there
with the
like just
typewriter
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that at all.
No,
It's
I
like
think
the
modern day. I
laptop
think even
and
Stephen King
trying.
probably does his own traveling too while he's he's writing about a haunted lamp or
exactly.
something, whatever he's writing about.
Yeah.
So, what? So my question. This is you'll probably. What are your desert island picks?
Right.
It's a given. You
Okay.
get Sebastian Stan. You get him to come with you.
He's a
given.
freebie.
He's a freebie.
So, okay. So I wasn't sure with the desert island picks whether it was like random, like different things you'd want to take, or if it was just the books you'd want to take. So
Oh.
you've just got a list of them.
Anything you'd like,
Anything
because you're there for a while. So if it's something to keep you entertained, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you like. No
Oh.
wrong answers.
Okay.
Veronica was going to
So
bring a potato.
definitely.
Isn't there a thing where you can use a potato to charge?
Oh, like a potato battery.
Yes,
Is
like
that what
isn't
you're
that a
thinking
thing?
of?
I think there's a way to do that. I swear. You know what?
Are we
I
thinking
don't need your guff.
survival?
Yeah, I mean, because I said I wanted to bring my Kindle, and she was like, "How are you going to charge it?"
Oh, see, I was just
literally
about to say
crying.
Kindle.
See?
Well, you can bring a potato.
Yeah. Right.
I love you. I love you, Veronica.
I don't need your guff.
Guys, I'm crying. I'm literally crying. Okay. Kindle's cool. Kindle's cool. Like it. I like that you
Okay.
both are bringing Kindles
Yeah,
and potatoes. I like it. I like it. It's fine. It's fine.
I'll bet you the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier would be able to figure out how to charge that thing for me.
You charge me.
Oh,
Anyhow,
am I just waiting till someone finds me? Because
I mean,
and then I'm going to be more relaxed. Because to be honest, that's a holiday. It's like, I'm going to be on the beach in peace, getting to read on my Kindle.
there you go.
Right.
Just staring at Sebastian Stan.
can we
It
just
works.
can we just set up sticks like that say help, and then we just sit and read? You know, like that part's taken care of, and then we just sit and read on our Kindles.
So what is So let me rephrase. What is the book that if you had to go to a desert island and someone's like, you can only bring one book, one movie, and one soundtrack? What would those three things be?
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
I should have clarified that more.
That's hard.
No, it's because different people do different things. I see quite a lot of people do like their desert island. Because it started as desert island discs, didn't it? And it was sound,
Yes,
albums and things.
yes.
Oh,
Because
but
I
then people
stole
do
it
it
from
for
the
books,
from
and
the
I just
English.
assumed
Yes.
So film, I mean, Clueless is close. Before we
There you
talk
go.
for that.
I like it.
But there's also a film. It's not a very well-known one, I don't think, but I absolutely love it. It's called Stranger Than Fiction.
yes.
Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, with Will Ferrell and Emma Thompson.
Oh,
And
who doesn't
it's
love Emma
just,
Thompson?
I just love it.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Amazing in everything. And I
And such an interesting concept.
Film. Yeah, I mean, you can see why for like a writer, it's like, wow. But it's just so funny when he's doing stuff and he's being narrated. And like, I think it's Will Ferrell's really good at it. He's like not as loud. It's a much quieter film for him. And he does it so well. He's so sensitive and sweet and Clueless.
I like him on the toned down movies. I like those. I like the Step Brothers, but I also like him kind of like as a normal person who doesn't have to scream all the time. But I mean, we all love Elf, but still, it's always nice to have a break every so often.
Yeah, it's loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would probably be my film.
Mhm.
Book is so hard. Just one book. What book have I probably read, like reread the most? I mean, you know, I couldn't be. I wouldn't think of like a highbrow one. I think in the past I might have gone like Jane Eyre or something, but probably not.
Oh,
It's probably
right.
going to be something more like Beach Read or The Hating Game.
Oh,
Or
the hating game.
yeah, it's like I've reread some books are like,
Mhm.
you know they're not perfect books in that, oh, there's maybe a plot hole here or the
Right.
character does, is a bit weak, but you just love them and you just read
Yeah.
them over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
have you come across Beach Read by Emily Henry as well?
No.
That was
No.
But I'm writing it
I'm
down.
writing it down.
oh yeah, if you like The Hating Game, I think you'll like that.
Oh,
You-
you just those are
episode
magic
2
words.
is the hating game for us. We did our episode 2 is the
I
hating game.
haven't listened to that one yet.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
that
felt-
was
I
raised
feel
good.
I was a little
Yeah.
bit like, because I really like it, I was like, oh, if I listen
Oh
to
no,
that
no,
one
it
and they
was
hate
one of
it.
my, like it was my.
Oh no, we love it.
The first episode was Veronica's like pick. Like we started it was like things that we love. So, and went we
Okay,
went from there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the Hating
Yeah.
Game was mine. So no, I love it. I can't wait for the
Yeah.
movie. I'm just
Yes. Same.
Do you have a soundtrack? Is there
Yeah.
something
They
you kept
changed
listening?
who they were going to have, though, didn't
Yeah.
They
had a
did.
different actor and
The Josh.
because I thought the
changed.
first actor was like, I could see it. I was like, yeah, he looks like Josh.
It was
I
Stephen
can buy
Amell,
into
wasn't
that.
it? I think.
Uh,
Yeah. One of the
I think
Amell
so.
brothers, and
It
they
was one.
changed it. Mhm.
Yeah.
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 But I
Yeah,
think
it
the
will be.
person
I
that
mean,
they
it'll be
got is
interesting to
okay.
see how they do.
Yeah. I mean, they're all good looking, but still, I think Amell was like right on mine. So, do you have a soundtrack that you're like, oh, I can't stop, or not sound, but like an album that you love,
Yeah.
and why is it not in
Um,
sync?
oh.
Just kidding.
Oh, I did used to listen to NSYNC.
Oh,
I
same.
used to like when when I got an older sister, and when she first learned to drive and she started to take me out in the car and we'd go like to the cinema and things, and that was one of the albums we used to have on, and we'd just be singing it. Probably can't remember half of it now.
It's probably not good. Don't worry about it.
I think maybe Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill.
Oh,
Yes.
my God, girl.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah, because that was like, that came
We all
out when I
felt
was
that.
a teenager, and that was like just
Yep.
perfect.
Yes, we all felt
wow.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I could still
Yeah.
pop that in like right now and sing every single word to it.
Yep, rage sing it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You ought to
yeah,
know.
exactly. And it was
Mhm.
just that is utterly cathartic, that
Yep.
album. There's
I mean, you had
it's
that
brilliant.
time that you had like that, and you had like Sarah McLachlan. You had Lilith Fair. I mean, that was here in the
Oh,
States,
yeah.
but it was like it was chick singer like extravaganza at that time. It was like the perfect time to be like, liberated woman. It was great.
Mhm.
I was
Those are good
listening
picks.
to a new like it's a fairly recent song. What is it? Olivia Rodriguez?
Oh
Yes. I am
Good for You, and it makes me think of
Mm-hmm.
Alanis Morissette, because I was like, oh, that's for this generation.
Yes.
She's pissed.
Yes.
She's singing about it, and it's good.
That entire album is
Yeah.
really excellent, actually. And I, as a 36-year-old
is it?
woman, I'm like, yes. And I'm 36. She's half my age. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I maybe shouldn't like this as much as I do, but I love that whole album. It's excellent. I played driver's
I'll
license for
listen
my
to the
daughter
thing
like
then.
multiple times. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, honey, as a person who has spent a lot of time with musicians and like working with musicians, I'm going to tell you that this bridge is one of the best bridges ever to have been written. And so you're going to listen to it a few times because you need to understand how good it is.
Yeah.
She's going to start swearing and it's going to be totally my fault because I just let her listen to music that has.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's really hard to avoid I have to say, I had a really old person moment because I was like, you know, when you just say to like Alexa, just play some music, and it's like pop music comes on. I had to whisper that in case she starts up,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
in the background. But and like a lot of pop music now is just like littered with swear words.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
my eldest daughter, she hears them now. Like when they're young, they don't
yeah.
notice, do they? It's like, you know, it kind of goes over the head. But yeah, so she heard driver's license and she was like, Mum, there's a swear word in there. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
she's really upset. So
we're not like, yeah, you know, we're not like swear words are like terrible. We don't really believe that because
Yeah.
we swear, and you know,
Yeah,
same.
it's just words.
Yeah.
It's just expressing. We always just say it's like if you're swearing at someone to insult someone,
Yes.
that's different. But you could
yeah.
equally do that
Right.
without a swear word and be just as offensive. So
Yes,
it's
that's true. It's so true.
how you use them. Just don't use
Yes,
it.
exactly.
That's all. you
Yes.
know?
I feel
Yeah.
like I'd rather, I don't really, I should care maybe if she says a swear word, but like I don't react to it because I don't want to like, because then they think that's funny and then they like do it more. But I feel like I would rather
Yeah,
concentrate more on making sure that she's not like bullying people and trying to be nice to everyone than be so
Yeah.
focused on like, oops,
Yeah.
she said the F word. Shocking. She's my kid. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
moving
Exactly.
on. I will say
Yeah.
we've been listening a lot to the two latest Taylor Swift records, Folklore and Evermore, and there's swear
Okay.
words,
Yeah.
lots of them throughout that
Mhm.
entire both of those records. But she'll just start singing Taylor Swift. Like I'll be in the next room and I'll hear
Yeah.
her like singing. I'll be like, what is she? Oh, that's just Taylor Swift. No big deal. You know,
Yeah.
she's like singing Champagne Problems. And I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah.
it is what
Yeah,
it
that's it,
is.
isn't it? Like,
It's
okay.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Like you say,
Anyway,
it's worse if you make a fuss of it and then it becomes
right.
Yeah.
a
I
thing.
mean,
It's like, well, just, you know,
just let it go. It's fine.
good music. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. At least she's seeing good music.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyhow. Are celebrities as hounded by the paparazzi in England as they are here, or is it worse?
I think, I mean, I don't know how it works over there, but I think over here it can be really nasty how
Is it?
much they like for tabloid newspapers and gossip magazines.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like every celebrity and everywhere they
Mhm.
go. It's, you know,
Yeah.
like in London and where
Yeah.
they're going to be, like going to, you know, posh places, not like
Right.
no, yeah,
Right. If they're in the
it's
middle of nowhere, no one's probably going to bother them.
yeah, but it can be like really nasty and vindictive. Like they'll go after people. It seems like they will
Really.
pick on someone in particular, and it's like they're never out of the press, sort of, you know, like Meghan Markle or something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah, I
You
was
know,
thinking
they're
that.
like, yeah, and it's caused like there's been huge things that have happened. I mean, even with like not who I would consider as big celebrities, you know, not like
Mhm.
movie stars and things like that, but we have like reality TV shows
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
things like that will happen to some of those, you know, those people that have come out of it and they're not supported and they don't know how to cope with it, and it's really quite sad, you know, some of them. And I don't know exactly, but I think there was one that committed suicide and stuff like
Oh
that. And
jeez.
yeah, it can be really bad. Yeah, it's not. I hate that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tricky thing because like but we were talking about the Avengers earlier, and you kind of like seeing people on the other side of it, but like
Mhm.
there is that other side of, well, these are real people and this is their real
Right.
life, and you know, I don't need to know. Like if it wasn't
Yeah.
there, I wouldn't be looking for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So yeah,
You know, and I hate that thought that like everyone has, like, well, you do give up part of your life because you've chosen this. It's like, yeah, but we should all be good people and not like really care about that as much.
yeah. I mean, just because they've chosen to do something like that, it doesn't mean that you're entitled to anything about their life. If they choose that they want to be private, then that's their choice. It's a consent thing, isn't it? You're invading someone's life just for a bit of gossip.
Well, and I feel like there's also a difference there in like an invasion of privacy versus what they're allowing you to see. Like there was when I think it was Prince William and Kate were, I guess I always read like her name is Catherine. They're like, her name is not Kate.
Yeah.
But they were on vacation and a paparazzi like a mile away had a telephoto lens and took a photo of her topless. And I'm like, okay, that's not the same thing. Like you can't, you want to wait outside of a restaurant for them to come out. That's one thing. You want to be on a different estate and take a photo of her a mile away and then sell it to the tabloids. Those are different things.
Yeah. It's also assault. And if you think about it. So, well, I think here too in the States, it's different by like you're going to get, if a celebrity in New York is not going to get hassled as much as a celebrity in California. Like in New York, a lot of celebrities feel a lot more comfortable walking down the street because really, honestly, no one cares as much in New York.
Yeah. It's like, I think that's it. It's kind of, that was one of the things I was thinking about. I had a scene originally when I first wrote it, where when they go on their first date and they actually went out to Taormina, one of the small places, the village that she goes to with her friend instead later on. And it felt like that would have probably been okay. It probably would have been fine because it's a little tourist village. No one's going to be looking for a celebrity to be there unless they know that there's a film there and they've gone there in particular. But because it was quite small, I thought that would probably be okay. But then I thought, well, they're also trying to keep it quiet from like just the people they know. So maybe not, maybe make it a bit more private. But I think that's probably kind of thing. Like you're saying, it's like people aren't necessarily looking for it. In New York, everyone's busy. So no one's looking, You might see someone, but like if you go to a restaurant in London up here, like say like you've chosen to go to a really posh place, you're probably expecting to see some celebrities and looking forward to it. And it's like you say, I'm sure most celebrities, if they've gone to somewhere like that, expect it, and they're choosing how to deal with it, aren't they? It's whether or not they just do an autograph or a photo and that's it, and then they want to get back to their meal or whatever. But it is different. It's totally different if you're in your home or you've gone on a holiday and you're just with your family and you're not in public. You're doing something private. That should be just completely out of bounds, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, last question for me is, we love soundtracks that accommodate books, like that go along with. So, are there some tracks that you were thinking about while you wrote this book?
Yeah, I love doing a soundtrack when I'm writing because it just helps me. Like if you're trying to get in the mood of something, I always do a soundtrack now. I absolutely love doing it.
You should be at Spotify and share.
You should have a Spotify.
I've got them. I've got them for my other books, and I've just got to finish this one. Like take a few songs out, and then I make them public.
So oh my gosh! Okay, so do we know your Spotify? Because we'll both follow.
We'll have to look it up. Yes.
I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I don't know.
You can send it to us.
Yeah, you can send it because we will both.
Yeah,
follow.
I'll send it to you, and like when this goes live, I can put the link as well. If
yes, please do. We can put it in our episode to begin with.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because I've got they're like.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
I keep hearing songs and throwing them in. So what have I got on there? I'm trying to think because I don't know how much of a crossover there is between the music we have over in the UK and the US. I'm sure, like obviously, you know. US ones you're going to have, but if there's like people that are more in the UK charts. Do you know Dermot Kennedy? Have you heard of Dermot Kennedy?
Yes.
Yeah? Have you heard Outnumbered? by him.
No.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna write
I
it
don't think
down.
so. We're
It's
gonna look it up though.
beautiful. It's a really beautiful song, and that was like the first one, and I was like, that's got to go on the soundtrack
Yay!
for this.
Cool.
And then there's "Okay Not to Be Okay."
Oh, I love that song.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm letting you have time. Let's see. What else have I got? I've got. Oh, we were talking about Taylor Swift, and I've got "Delicate" on it.
I love that song.
I do, Veronica.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I usually have a Taylor Swift song somewhere. On
I love
my
Taylor Swift.
playlist.
Her boyfriend
She's
is
an
British.
amazing songwriter. Yeah.
She is. Actually, her boyfriend helped her. He was one of the songwriters on Evermore and Folklore, but he's doing it under a pen name. I think it's William Bovary is the pen name. Mm-hmm.
That's such a posh pen name, isn't it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
So
Could you sound more like a toff?
Wanker.
Yeah. Oh, dear. I'm sure
British
it's very
people
nice.
say everything so much more polite than
Yeah,
we
I
do.
know.
Like everything is so. I remember the day I learned what bollocks meant, and it was because I had a British professor, and I asked him. He was like, he wasn't that much older than us. Like he was maybe 10 years older than us, and he said it at one point, and I was like, what does that mean? And he told me, and I was like, how is it that you guys can sound so polite in everything that you say? Like you say posh, like, could you sound more posh than that? And I'm like, an American would have been like, you sound like a stuck-up bitch. You know, like there's no.
Yeah. Well, I think that's
we'll never
like
sound as eloquent.
British.
No. I mean, you guys can call me a right twat,
probably...
and I'll be fine with it.
I learned from a British person that it's twat, not twat.
It is over here. It is twat. Yeah.
It's twat.
Twat.
Yeah,
I like
think
it better.
It's because we do
love
swear a lot.
I love that your partner's probably in the other room just hearing you being like, twat.
What? Yeah. What's going on?
He's like, what are you doing for your book?
I
Who
know.
are these twats?
Are you
supposed
sure?
to sell it? What are you talking about? Is this supposed to be promotion? Huh? I don't understand. He doesn't understand book people. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's the thing with like British people, probably because we're a bit passive aggressive. I think that's the thing. That's probably why. Because I think, I don't know, this is a generalization, but like you say, like you US is like you say more what you think like actually as it is.
Oh, you think? Yep.
It's like face value. So,
to our own detriment.
But because you're like it's different levels, and it's like when you know someone really well and you can
that's
like
true. Yeah.
Sure.
you trade insults and things because it's like that because you've got that level. Yeah. It's probably a bit.
There was a line at one point when Rowan's mom comes to visit. They start talking about like probably more in depth than they would have in the past, and she makes a comment to him where she says, I can tell you've been hanging out with Americans a lot. And that made me laugh. We don't, like when you're in it, you don't really think about the differences between you and like British people or like someone from a different country. But then like when you start hanging out with them, you see more of like, oh, it's cultural differences and they're all wonderful. And I love learning about differences and with people's cultures and whatnot.
Absolutely.
But it's just like, it's not something that you would ever notice until you start spending time with someone.
Yeah. You guys have a civility that we do not have.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of civility
that people think
feel
it's they're okay to say to people. I'm like, you can't just call.
Please don't say that to people.
Please don't use those words. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm sure, but maybe if we lived in Britain, we wouldn't feel that way. I don't know.
I mean, we're just not as we're not very open over here in terms of talking about like feelings and and like that scene you're talking about. Talking about seeing a therapist or things that have bothered you,
Yeah.
going in
Yeah.
depth into stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
there's still quite a lot of stigma attached over
Mhm.
here, and this kind of, the whole stiff upper lip type thing.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
not so much between people that are friends, but even, in families that can be
Mhm.
generation divides, and I think it's changing as people get younger. But yeah, that's where that came from, because it's like, there's like this view that in the US, everyone will tell you everything, whereas over
Yeah.
here it's like you won't, even if like something really awful had happened, you wouldn't even say, like, someone like, how are you? I'm fine. I'm fine. You're not
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Something
I'm
really
keeping it
like your
inside.
house could have burnt down, but you're like, I'm all right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's great. It's just perfect.
It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's great.
That's actually my go-to
Exactly.
line is, I'm fine. It's
fine.
fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I often will say, like, I am living the dream.
Yep. Living the dream.
Yep. I think it's getting a bit more relaxed, I think, because we're sharing it more, like social media. And
well,
stuff like
especially
that.
with
We're
COVID.
sharing
I mean,
it.
Yeah. Because you're all in it together. We're all in it together.
All in it together.
And it's a win-win.
I think that's happening in America too, though, where like my grandfather. So my grandfather is 98 years old. He fought in World War II. But his generation wouldn't talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's just not a thing that they would do.
Yeah.
And even in like my mom's generation, they wouldn't necessarily, but my mom has always been more, I've been lucky in that she was more open-minded about therapy and things like that. And she was a high school guidance counselor.
Yeah.
So for her, like, she was able to get me a therapist, like when I needed one. And she was like, you worry a lot. And like, maybe you should talk to someone about that. So that was really helpful to me. And then I feel like now we have a generation of people that are more open to it, and we can be more open to it with our kids, so maybe that will like help with people dealing with their own like mental struggles or their mental illnesses or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much better. Yeah, especially when you have kids. And I think that's something I think about when I'm trying, even though you're still going through anxiety things yourself, and it's like, well, how, what would help when they're getting worried about stuff, and I try and be honest about it, that I don't find everything easy, and it's normal not to find everything easy, but these things sometimes help, and, can you try? But, and, I'm not trying to blame my parents or anything. I'm not saying that, because like you say, it's a generational thing, but I don't remember having those kind of conversations.
Right.
So hopefully we just learn. That's it. We're all learning as we go.
We're all learning.
Just keep learning.
Trying to do better for the next generation.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, is there anything else that
Would
we
you like
missed?
some more songs, or is that
Yes, please do.
Sorry, we're taking you on all kinds of tangents.
Yeah, we
today.
really are.
No,
and your poor thing, it's like almost 10 o'clock
fine.
for you, so we should let you go soon.
No, is it really? Oh my God, I
think so. Well, it's 4:50 for us, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll just.
Oh man, my husband's on his way home with it.
And then
I'll leave it for the
I've
playlist.
enjoyed this so much talking with you.
Oh, I have too.
A blast.
I have.
You are so much fun.
It's been really lovely. Oh, thank you. It's been so much fun talking to you. It's been amazing. Just, getting to be part of the chat that I normally listen to. It's been brilliant. I've just added. I got "Breathing" by Ariana Grande.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, I love her. She's ridiculously talented.
I know.
Yeah. And then what else did I put? "Hard Times," Paramore. Do you know that one?
Paramore has some of my very favorite stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love Paramore. And I did a "Monster" as well by Shawn Mendes. And
oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Shawn Mendes.
He's way more talented than he should be,
and
right?
I
mean, he's a nice enough guy to say.
I'm not
he's
a massive Justin Bieber fan, but
No,
It's
but
like,
Shawn Mendes
I
is
do
like,
like quite a lot of his songs, but
Yeah.
yeah, I love,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's quite a few of his songs which I think
Yeah.
are really quite lovely. Like Wonder as well was really nice.
I
Yes.
cannot,
And I think
I
had
cannot listen to that song too many times. I will listen to Wonder for like hours on end.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, that one's a great one. And I don't know if this one's more of a UK one, but have you heard Let's Go Home Together? Ella Henderson and Tom Grennan?
No,
That
Mm,
might
yeah.
be
Look it up.
more of a UK song. And it's just, it was one that I heard after I'd written the book, but like between writing it and edits and stuff. So I added it onto the soundtrack, and because it's like a duet and they're talking. And although it's like not quite them, because they're like on a night out, and it's like when you meet someone at a bar, but it's because they've got this, they're singing about this lovely connection that they're having, and that it's not normal. And there's bits in it where she like says something like, you know, you've made me come out of my shell, how did you do that? And it was just like, oh, that's perfect. That
I
one.
love it.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
I'll have to
that's
look
a
that
nice
up.
one if you can hear that one.
Yeah.
It's very British, like culturally, I think, as well, because it's like pub culture. I don't know.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
a bit different to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, that's really cool. But,
Oh, I love it.
and yeah, there's like tons.
Yay! Oh, I'm excited.
I'll
I'm
have
to,
to,
so
like,
excited.
edit
Yeah,
it
please share, and then we
put it-
will.
yeah,
We will follow you. We both will follow you.
lovely,
Yay!
brilliant.
oh, all right, Emma. I think that covers what we had.
Yeah, that was.
I'm
so
so
fun.
glad you
Thank
were able to
you.
join
I
us, and
know.
thank you so much for trusting us with your book early. We both loved it. We can't wait to help you like promote it to people. It's such like a
thank you.
feel good story with like a plenty realistic amount of tension and conflict that I just feel like it was so well done. I was so glad to get to read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Oh, I'm so happy that you enjoyed it and I got to talk about all that stuff. I got to geek
Yes.
out about my book
Yeah.
with you. It's been amazing.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Welcome.
Guys. Welcome. So we're going to talk a little bit about book recommendations and podcast recommendations.
Yep. This is a long one because of our interview was just so much fun with Emma, but
Yes.
we
so
hope
guys,
that you don't
it
mind.
is. Yeah, I mean it's going to be long. You guys just
That's what she said.
buckle up. Buckle up.
Boom.
Ow! Bow! 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 Bow!
We are the worst.
We are.
Okay.
It's fine. All right, so
Talk to me about your
once
book recommendations. What you got,
Okay,
girl?
so I just finished today. I finished it in a day. It's a short story called Press Play. It is about two roommates who decide to. The guy has just broken up with his girlfriend, and the girl has decided to cheer him up because he is a redheaded bearded soccer player, that she's gonna be like, yeah, why don't we do I had already won a, I want to say softcore, but it's not really softcore, like a amateur porn, it's not porn though, amateur adult movie festival contest. And it was a couple of years ago with her ex-boyfriend. And so she brought it up to him to get his mind off his ex-girlfriend. And they're like, can we stay friends? So the whole thing is like, can we stay friends but be doing extremely explicit things to each other?
Okay.
And FYI, they're both in love with each other.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Good.
they were from the beginning. Yeah.
Oh my
so
God,
it's like,
awesome.
yeah, so they're like, we both love each other, but we don't know how to tell each other. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought the sex scenes were really well written, and I thought that how they put it together for the movie, which actually is really funny because the movie they put together, they don't actually end up using. They end up using something else for their movie, their submission. But I thought it was interesting because like, so they tape it in stages. The first stage is like him going down on her, like him first finger fucking her, and then saying, "What first? I want you to ride my fingers, and I'm going to want you to ride my face." And they do, and it's hot.
Okay.
And then so the second scene, in the background, she has that scene playing while she is going down on him.
Okay.
And then in the last scene, she has like both scenes going on the television, like at one at a time, while she is fucking him.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And yeah, it's fucking hot. It's pretty hot, but I was invested. I was invested in both characters.
All
I
right.
really enjoyed it. Like I would read other stuff from this author. The author is Ash Dillon, I believe.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
is.
have it pulled up. Mhm.
Yeah, and I did. I thought it was decent, and honestly, like right now, it's free on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
So I would recommend.
Okay, and it's only 99 cents to buy, I'm seeing. So there's that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a short story.
Yeah,
so
it's a
like
novella.
It's 166 pages or something like that. So yeah.
Okay.
Read it. I mean, you got 2 hours. Go for it.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
You got 2
man.
hours and a vibrator. Go for it.
Get that BuzzFeed vibrator yet?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we should have a timeline. We should have like a.
We should
you
have,
know,
like,
a countdown.
We should. When did you order it?
Months ago at this
God
point.
damn it, BuzzFeed.
I'll
Get your
tell
shit
you.
together.
You look it up. I'll tell you when I ordered it.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to go on with my book recommendation. You let me know when you find your receipt.
Yep.
Keep all those goddamn receipts.
My receipt.
Keep that receipt. Okay, so my recommendation is, again, from the Beach Read box set series.
June 13th.
June 13th. Get your shit together, BuzzFeed. Probably they had, like, way too many orders.
I think that's what they did. They're like, 'cause, I mean, they sent me free erotica, which just sucked. But so yeah.
Boo.
And you could read it if you'd like to know what.
I'm all right. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I'll just open up
put it-
American
I put
Queen,
it in
I
our-
guess.
I'm not gonna lie. This press play actually is a little bit more.
What?
No. I mean, well, no, there was no double penetration, vaginal penetration, but
Jesus.
I think anyhow, let's go.
Okay,
on.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about it later. All right, so my book recommendation is Flirting with a Frenemy by Pippa Grant. Now, this was my first Pippa Grant. She's funny as hell. I really enjoyed it. So there's like a bit of a gap in the timeline. So what happens is this woman, like young woman, breaks up with her boyfriend, finds out that her ex has been cheating on her, and so they break up. It's like Christmas Eve.
Oh God!
I know. So she's pissed off. She goes to like her brother's house.
Tosca, where the fuck are you with this shit?
No, Tosca, you should do this one. So she goes to her brother's house because she just needs to get out, and gets to her brother's house, and her brother's best friend is also apparently staying there because he and his wife are getting divorced.
Oh, of course.
They have a kid, so he's like hot single dad situation. So he's really upset because he's just lost custody like of his son.
Jesus.
She is upset because her boyfriend's been fucking cheating on her. So they end up like releasing some tension, shall we say.
Between the sheets.
Yes.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve. She gets up like after
Somebody found something in their stocking. What?
boom. So he
Boom. Pew, 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 pew.
afterward, he gets upset because he's like, oh my God, I have just slept with my best friend's sister. Like, I've broken
Breast friends.
like, I've broken the bro code. This is literally part of the bro code series. Like, that's
yeah.
So he's like mortified and feels terrible that he has like messed around with his best friend's sister. And she, already in like a vulnerable state, is upset about this, gets up, leaves in a hurry, and then ends up getting in like a really bad car accident.
Jesus.
Yeah, that like involves a lot of like physical rehab and stuff like that. It's actually like,
Oh my God.
I know. She's okay, but like it just I think a drunk driver hit her or something. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
I know. But it's integral to the story. It's like the point, because what it did was like kind of drive a further wedge between them, because like he thought that like she would blame him for like the fact that she had left so quickly. Mm-hmm. Anyway, months pass and she has to go to a wedding and needs like a fake boyfriend because the ex-boyfriend is going to be there.
Of course she does.
So she has one lined up, but then like Wyatt sort of steps in, and then all of a sudden Wyatt is the fake boyfriend. I know. I also love the name Wyatt. So anyway, they end up having to like pretend it's a fake relationship situation. And it's like, it's funny because it's in this town that is like very pirate themed. So the wedding is like pirate themed. It's really funny actually. And just like the shit that they get into and like the circumstances, and they end up like staying in the same house. It's very funny. It's very funny.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Pippa Grant, funny as hell. She's great. So anyway, that's my recommendation. Do you have a podcast recommendation?
So I do. So if it wasn't for my fucking horse, I wouldn't have spent that year in college. I'm starting that because it's Lewis Black's most like fame. Like, if you say Lewis Black, everyone goes, "If it wasn't for my horse." So, that being said,
love Lewis Black.
Oh my God, everyone knows Jim McGaffigan's is Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets.
Pockets. Exactly.
Diarrhea
and everyone
pockets.
Yes. And so everyone knows that Lewis Black says, "If it wasn't for my horse." I know. And like honestly, there's so many Lewis Black. The one thing from Lewis Black that I continually think about is his hatred for the Weather Channel, because he goes, I remember I was watching the Weather Channel and I was going to Detroit and they told me it was going to be 75 and sunny. So I packed accordingly and I got there and it was 35 and snowing and I was wearing sandals. He goes, Weather Channel, you should just buy a chimp and just have the chimp throw darts at a dartboard, because at that point you can get there and be like, it'd be like you're standing there and it's snowing on your sandals. You can be like, what the hell am I going to say? Our weatherman is a chimp.
It's so accurate though. Like that's just, Michigan, Ohio. Like they might as well just throw a dart at a dartboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he has, on that same vein, he has a podcast called The Rantcast, where it's just the most, I have to say, this is fucking beautiful. So when he was doing regular shows, this was like about 3 years ago when he actually started this, where he was doing his regular like live shows. And then at the end of each show, he would have the people who came to the show, the audience, could submit a rant in a Lewis Black cadence. So they could talk about whatever the fuck they wanted, but it was like in a rant. And Lewis, if he liked it, would read it.
I love that.
And so now he's not doing live shows. People submit them, and he just does them. Like, that's the whole show now. It's just him reading these rants. And they're hysterical because some of them are just so, like, I don't like maple syrup. Like, it's hysterical. And you'll be like, yeah, I fucking don't hate maple. Like, I fucking hate maple. I mean, like, I don't. But at the end of it, you're like, yeah, fucking do. And then it brings you back to everything. Like, and if you are a Lewis Black fan, which I am, like, it brings you back to, like, how soy milk, there's no nut milk, there's no nut tit, so you can't have there's no soy tit, there's no nut tit, so you can't have soy or
like oat milk.
Nut milk.
What the
You
fuck
can't
is
have
that?
oat milk because there's no
There's no tit.
There's no tit. Yep. Yeah.
I love Layers Black.
so-
He cracks me up. Also, him as anger in Inside Out. Chef's kiss.
Oh, when he was younger, I would throw 4 legs over it. It's fine. I'd probably still do it. It's fine.
I did love his rants on The Daily Show.
Oh my god, Back in Black was the best segment.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Because like he was fucking reining it in because like his stand up is so fucking funny. Because the other thing that I think of all the time, and I actually bring it up from time to time, is how he goes like, yeah, around, because he's Jewish, obviously, like not obviously, but Jewish. He's like,
he doesn't hide
yeah,
it.
so-
Like he talks about
no,
it.
no,
Right.
he talks about it a lot. He's like, well, he's actually, I don't think he's actually really Jewish. I think his mother is Jewish, so I think he's Jewish from
Right,
birth.
because that's how that... Right.
That's how it works. And he's like, yeah, so I used to have parties where we would just drink NyQuil. He said, because NyQuil is the only thing on the planet that tastes like red and green. He's like,
Yes!
I'm like, yes, exactly.
God, he is so fucking funny.
But he would call me, like, he's like, it's my Christmas parties. It's red and green. I'd be like, you coming for my Christmas party? Because we're drinking NyQuil. Yeah,
I love him so much.
I know. So, yeah, that's my...
Bucky is chasing something behind you, and I love watching it.
He's chasing a pig ear. Yep.
Okay, so my podcast recommendation, super fast, is Serial. And now I know Ray doesn't love this. It's Serial as in like
It's fine.
a serial episode. So like Serial. It's done by a journalist who used to work with This American Life. There are 3 seasons, the first of which is about, I guess I should say it's like a true crime podcast. It's centered around crime, but not necessarily always one specific crime. So, for example, the first season is about the murder of a woman in Baltimore, and the person who was convicted for her murder, and that person's name is Adnan Syed. The second season is about an American soldier who intentionally went AWOL in Afghanistan. So they talk about that. They talk about the repercussions of his actions. They talk to a lot of military personnel. And the third season is about the justice system in Cleveland, Ohio.
I thought there was part in Cleveland at some point.
Yes. So now they do explain, like in the not like the first episode. I think they probably talk about it as things go on. But in the introduction to the season, they actually say it's not like a commentary on Cleveland so much as it is that Cleveland allowed them access to a lot, and that's why they chose Cleveland. They surveyed like many cities across the country, and Cleveland is just the city that was willing to give them a lot of access. What's funny about this is that so they follow a few different trials, a few different people throughout the course of the time that they were spending here. The funny thing about this is that my husband and I both had jury duty during this. Like while they would have been here, we both had jury duty. And we both ended up on trials. So as far as I know, they didn't use our trials in the podcast, but we don't know that they weren't in there because they were allowed to sit in on trials with recording devices. So it's really fascinating to listen to how the justice system works, to listen to prosecutors talk, to listen to defense attorneys talk. It's just really fascinating. And I look at it as like a way of seeing how the justice system works and also doesn't work as one aspect of it. I'm not saying that it's like all encompassing, but I think at this point we all have to acknowledge that our justice system has some lapses, and
It's broken.
we have some work to do. But anyway, I would highly recommend, if you're interested in that kind of thing, I would highly recommend Serial Podcast. So good.
And can I put a rider onto that?
Yeah.
So there is a show. It was on A&E. It was called The Killing Season. But they were searching for the Lisk killer, the Long Island serial killer.
Oh.
And it was the guy who did this. They did two different documentaries. One was called Cropsy, and the other one was Urban Legends. And so he is the constant. Like, he was the director through all three of those. And so they were trying to find the Long Island serial killer. But I'm bringing that up because towards the end, they realized that, and they were hoping to have a second season, because the second season would be dealing with Cleveland, because they found that there are thousands of serial killers active in the United States.
Perfect.
And a large number of them are in Cleveland.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And so
I'm going to sleep so well tonight.
I mean, unfortunately, fortunately, you're not going to be, you're not a prostitute, so you're probably not going to be,
I don't know. Someone was murdered down the street from my house not that long ago, so.
Well, for a serial killer, you're probably not going to be murdered, but I love you. I hope you don't be murdered, but I'm
Same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm going to go to sleep after this. Remember our anxiety discussion from earlier?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Perfect.
But, so I would recommend that. It's on.
Unless you're Veronica, don't look for it.
Just search Killing Season.
Perfect.
There
That
you
won't
go.
take the NSA to your house at all.
No, I mean it will, but it's fine. So
It's okay. Sometimes
all
I just talk to the NSA.
I mean, if somebody, honestly, if somebody looked at my chat for my chat threads to you, our friend Lee, and possibly my friend Brady, they'd be like, "This woman needs to be taken in." Yeah, because I don't know how many times I've said certain things where I'm like, the Secret Service probably needs to come to my house.
I look for a lot of weird shit for work. A lot of weird shit.
I don't have an excuse.
I don't have an excuse. All right, girl, where can people find us?
Okay, they can find us at our website, which is chicletbookclubpodcast.com. Our Twitter, which is, oh my God, come on, is at Chicklet Podcast. Our TikTok, which is Chicklet Book Club. Our Pinterest, which is Chicklet Book Club Podcast. Y'all see a trend.
Do you see a trend?
Emails, chicletbookclubpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, which is Chicklet Book Club Podcast. And our YouTube is YouTube. And at some point in the next week, we will have a Facebook. I'm not...
we might have
happy
like a
about
group.
it. Oh my God, I don't want to do it, but we're going to do it
I think
because
we're
we
probably
fucking
going
need to do it, and
Yeah.
I want to punch myself in the fucking junk. Anyhow, so there we go. Can you tell me what's coming up?
Maybe. So,
Maybe. We don't fucking know.
We don't fucking know. So, our next episode, we've actually already recorded it, but our next episode is American Queen by Sierra Simone.
American Queen!
Oh, my God. So, American Woman.
Really singing tonight.
She's releasing it tonight. So that one will air on August 10th. We're going to probably be skipping a page to screen because I'm going on vacation. So we need a moment. Oh, Bucky, I can't wait to hang out with you. After that, what we are going to do is Totally Folked by Penny Reed, because
Yay!
we need to have all of the Penny Reed on this podcast. That woman is...
Did we put Lisa Kleypas on there?
I don't think we did.
Because she's got that new
She has
Ravenels,
like a new
the last
Ravenels.
Ravenels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to put that on there too. After that, I think what's going to happen is that, so we're going on vacation
Went
with...
to Spinner. Oh no! I know what we're coming back with. What?
So we're going on vacation, my husband and I, with another couple who has a couple kids. And we're all going to be staying in a house together. And the husband in this, we've already brought this up once, but the husband in this couple was like, hey, maybe we should all read a romance novel and then talk about it while we're on vacation. Somehow we landed on Ice Planet Barbarians. And I will say that part of that is because it's short.
It's very short.
And
yeah.
so we were like, if it sucks, at least we haven't and if is maybe spelled WHEN, it won't be like a massive time suck. I did have to buy, because my husband isn't like a huge reader, I did get the audiobook for him. So he will be
That'll be great.
listening to the audiobook in the car.
Excuse me. Tail penises.
On his
Tail
way
penises.
to and from work.
Tail penises.
So Penny Reed's coming up. Ice Planet Barbarians is coming up.
I love how you just like fucking gliding over that.
Well, I also haven't started reading it, so like I don't know what the
Tail
fuck I'm looking into.
penises.
I just keep calling it Avatar porn because like they're blue.
It is. Well, yeah, because they also have like with Avatar, I think with those things, the tails that stick in, and they.
I won't lie to you. I have not seen Avatar.
I've seen it one time, and it was fucking worst. I was like, no more.
I just don't know that I care.
I don't care. You know what I care about? Is Zoe Saldana is gorgeous.
Yeah,
in real
she's
life.
amazing.
Yeah, that's all I care
I
about.
love her.
Yeah.
I have loved her
Anywho.
since Center Stage. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So
anyway, that's all coming up. That's like August, basically, is what
Yeah.
that kind of translates into. And then we're probably going back to the wheel.
Yeah. So Lisa K. Plot. Clay Plot.
Blah,
Blah,
blah.
blah, blah, blah,
We
blah.
need to go to bed.
Yeah, we do. I'm so fucking tired. And Lisa Clayplas and Totally Float are coming up.
Yes.
And
can't
Ice
wait.
Pirates, whatever the fuck it's called. And
Yep.
I mean, I've read the sex scene. It's fine.
Okay.
There's a couple sex scenes. It's like one of those.
I'm not going to
y'all
read
need to-
all 24 books in the series. I can tell you that right now.
No one should.
No. Sorry, Bucky. We scared you. He was like, what the fuck? Oh my God, he's so cute. He has like a dark muzzle. I love him. Okay. Anywho, thank you all for joining us on this journey.
It's been a journey.
10 out of 10
It's
recommend
gonna be a long journey. Oh
Sleepless
my God, yeah.
in Sicily. This was like
It's gonna
fantastic.
You must at Seattle. It's gonna it's gonna be a long episode for you guys. It's gonna be like 3 hours. So
super sorry
because we talked to her for a while.
We
because
did.
we love her.
We love her
and
so
she's
much.
Amazing.
And also, she like really took our questions seriously, which I really appreciated. Like we always send when we do author interviews, we send the questions ahead of time just to like let them prepare.
Oh my God, yeah.
One of them, like she really prepared on the one about the Avengers. Like,
And
I appreciated that so much.
oh my God,
She's so sweet.
We love you.
Oh my God,
we want to be friends with you so bad.
we really do. If I'm ever in England, I'm not kidding. I'm looking you up.
Yeah, we're gonna play a Lila and Steven. It's fine.
It's fine.
So how do we end this fucking thing, right?
In a super obnoxious manner, right?
In the most obnoxious manner possible. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye! I figured they might as well hear the fucking what you hear to hear before I. Safe life repairs, safe life replace.